spiritual powers. It's about, we have it, but it's about to get intense.
Don't have a car.
We got pretty much 2 weeks left. All hell breaking loose. They already told me. They say, I'm thinking when the war starts, I'm thinking the civil wars, they're going to equate us to It's good? Yeah, that's Satan in the midst trying to stop. But like we said before, that's the ops. That's the spiritual ops.
The whole shit just got taken down. The whole live stream before. You know, that's how you know it's Satan, man.
That's how you know it's Satan. This is Ephesians 6:10. We're battling. Matter of fact, give me that scripture real quick. Brothers can, Ephesians 6:10. We're battling with spiritual wickedness in high places. This is a spiritual battle, man. This spiritual battle, man. This is good and evil. This is what you see right now. See, it's Esau, the spiritual demon saying these demonic forces. We have the light, so it's a combating of good and evil. But it's all about good and evil, man. The devil's trying to make it about black and white, and they were fighting in the womb, in the stomach, Jacob and Esau. So this thing is spiritual, good and evil, man. It's really the elite of Israel against the elite of Esau, these Edomites, these Rothschilds, these DuPont, these Gettys.
It's funny because with the 2 agents, they said both of their names was Mike. But one was like kind of like sincere, like just trying to be like straight up, and one of them had like a demonic ass smirk on his face. You know when people can't keep a straight face and they got that little jump and they show that little teeth right there, but they trying to keep the straight face, but that little lump's there. But in his mind, he think he got a straight face, but he's like, yo, what the fuck, like you smirking for? But he probably trying to stay regular, but the other one just seemed like, I'm just trying to like move and just, you know, but the other one just had that fucking smirk. You know what I mean? The more Edomite looking one had that like demonic smirk, man. Like he was getting a kick out of it or some shit like that. You know?
Hey man, you want the jokes gonna be on you. Some of them police officers, some of them agents investigating us, they gonna come into the truth, man. Some of you little agents watching us, man, some of you will be like, man, this guy's got the truth, man. And it's gonna be a fight within the department. Because the Most High likes to throw monkey wrenches into things, man.
The cop that gave us the tip.
The cop that gives us arms a couple of times, right there in Elizabeth. Ephraim. The cops know us over here, man. They know us, man. They know we ain't out here. But that don't mean it make no goddamn sense, man. We're gonna, you know what, bro? We're gonna do some shit. We're gonna stand in the corner and just be preaching. That's retarded. We never once said to pick up guns, to pick up arms. Scripture say our weapons of warfare are not carnal but spiritual. And first and foremost, the enemy of Israel, they don't even live here. So you're gonna go pick up guns and do what? What you gonna do with a fucking gun when these devils live in Europe? They live in Europe in different parts of the world. So you're gonna go pick up a gun and do what? These motherfuckers that's causing all shit don't even live here.
We have a lot more militant Israelites coming out now.
Oh yeah, set up. That one guy that said, oh yeah, we gotta police all the streets. We gotta get guns and go to these cops.
They come out of nowhere now.
They come out of nowhere now. When have we ever said that? We never once said to go pick up. I personally don't even like guns, man. I think that's a pussy bitch ass weapon. But if you're in a gun state, hey, you get it licensed and everything like that, legally by the state, that's on you. But me personally, I was never into it. That's a faggoty weapon. A little baby can kill a Zen jiu-jitsu artist. A freaking sodomite. Shoot your ass, man. You know what I mean? So there's no art, there's no spirit behind that, man. See, we was doing miraculous things through the spirit. What the Lord's gonna give us, when we get physical, it's gonna still be spiritual.
That's what I mean. Hey, we almost 40 or 50 years into this truth, man. And y'all ain't never hear nothing radical coming from us brothers or the men of the Lord or us Israelites. So where's this whole new theory that we are somebody that's a suspect in y'all so-called terrorism acts, man? It ain't never been happening. It ain't never happened now. So these dudes that y'all talking about allegedly affiliated with us, those are agent provocateurs, man.
Yeah, no, not for real. And this word is terrorist to you. You want to talk about what's terror? The king of terror. These words, it's destroying you, man. You hear these words like, these niggas is waking up. Fuck. We don't spend billions. That's what it is. You don't think these devils sleep 7-8 hours calm. They wake up 3-4 in the morning sweating, scrambling. Oh, what the? Getting all these nightmares. The angels visiting them, going in their villas and their kitchen, smacking the pots up. Chariots flying over their mansions. They having dreams. These witches and warlocks doing sacrifice and wanting them to blow the fuck up, or a lion manifests that eats them up. All types of crazy. The Lord's busy, you fucking devils, man. As this word is getting out, as we sign and cry into our power, this word is terrorizing you, motherfucker. You want to talk about terrorizing you? YAHAWASHI, destroy it. Right. The Grim Reaper is terrorizing you. Right. And this word is fucking terrorizing you.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 14. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of the evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done some mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall.
And that's these devils. That's how these devils are, man. That's another scripture that says too. They don't sleep without devising some mischief, some wickedness. You know what I'm talking about, right? That's what they when they sleep, they're already meditating on these Israelites. How we gonna destroy them? And this whole BLM Antifa shit. Every Viking, he's a fucking agent. That fucking Edomite is a piece of shit. He's an agent, and he's eating you stupid ass Edomites into this war. Because all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere, he gets all this fucking he gets all this praise in media. And Grandmaster Jay too. That motherfucker, he don't look right, man. I hate that dude, man. If I see you, man, look, you ain't right, man. Grandmaster Jay, you ain't right. That's why General Delta, Tornado, all them high-ranking members, they leaving your ass and they exposing you, man. You an agent. And when the shit pops off and the shooting starts, you're gonna go out the back door. You might not go out the back door. He was a presidential candidate. Trump. Yeah. And then there's pictures of him loving Edomites, hugging Edomites. And then you got motherfuckers following this guy, man.
And they wearing fringes while they marching down the street.
Yeah. They're wearing fringes. And then he mentioned the 12 tribes of Israel, you Edomites are gonna pay.
Probably was in a fraternity at a college somewhere.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
You look at his
YouTube.
You look at his YouTube Vivo, he has the Horus. He has a symbol of Horus, yeah, and he starts mixing the Hebrew Israelite thing with other philosophies, Egyptology, the Hamitic religions and shit. He starts mixing in all of that shit.
Bunch of gumbo. The 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
See, this devil would love for us to pick up guns and do dumb shit. Then they can lock us up and throw us away, or gun us down. But when we stay in the spirit, this is the fight. This is what's whooping their ass, man. You can hear from a fight. You get all bruised up, you get broken ribs, you get all. But when words, man, words, what they say, what's that saying? Words and stuff. Yeah, but words, that's bullshit. Words don't put people to death. Words that destroy people's lives. And words also give you life.
Raise somebody from the dead by
Raise somebody from the dead with words. The Lord's raising up. Ezekiel 37, us from the dead. And these devils hate that. Speaks down to its existence. That's why you gotta be consistent in your prayer, in your movement, in your fighting, because it's manifested. It all starts here. You believe it in your mind, you speak about it so much, it actually manifests it, man. The mind is very powerful, man. That's why this devil's yup. That's why this devil's constantly attacking us with this media. Always with the media, always pushing this gangster image, which destroyed our people. Pushing all this shit with these celebrities and shit. Tory Lanez shoots, make a stallion in the foot, all this witchcraft, man, to keep our people low frequency. Well, once we say, you know what, we see the agenda, we see the witchcraft, we see the predictive programming, fuck you, devil, we're gonna worship our God, we're gonna break, that's that spell breaking, man. And it's being revealed. And you got a lot of truthers bringing out truth. That's the spirit of the Lord. And you devils are being exposed. Right. People don't even believe that Trump can buy this shit. A lot of people are like, man, that's bullshit, man, that Trump can buy it.
Hey, just to add on to what the elder just said, you know, words become, especially in this day and age, words take more of an effect on people than they used to do back then. When we were growing up, people could say the meanest things to you and you just be like, whatever. Right. As long as you're not boxing or you're not hitting me, I'm not gonna do nothing. I really don't care. But now people get in such a depressed state of mind because of the words that they hear, and the ultimate words is this truth. All right, so that in Hebrews the 4th chapter, Hebrews 4 and 12. All right, because when you take the word and you put an S in front of it, it becomes sword, and they use that to cut. So like the elder just said, they use these words in the media, the music, and so on and so forth to what? To cut people's spirits. All right, they cut you in the spirit, in your mind. All right, they tell you things that are not true. You tend to believe it. Next thing you know, you actually believe these things. It weakens you, man. You know what I'm saying? You see these words on social media like, oh, God is this, and oh, we should do this, and next thing you know, you actually believe these things, man. Yep. You know, they're telling you about they propagating this whole coronavirus and shit. You got people actually wearing masks thinking that they're actually sick. Meanwhile, they're not sick.
Yep.
You know?
And that's how you get sick.
That's how
it manifests.
Yeah.
That's like when you get cancer. If you believe, oh, I'm gonna die.
Your body starts to take over because your body's water. You know what I'm saying? Everything you're saying to it, it starts to take, it starts to manifest. Exactly.
There's been people that fought and beat cancer by just saying, I'm gonna beat this motherfucker. I'm not gonna die. Fuck cancer. Fuck it. And they beat the cancer.
Right.
My mother's going through that right now. I'm like, yo, man, don't worry about that shit, man. You just pray and just think positive. Stop thinking negative. That's what the devil wants. You start thinking negative, it's gonna affect your body. Start thinking positive. Start thinking positive. I'm praying to the Lord. Start thinking positive. You'll fight that shit, man. That's what this devil wants. He wants us to fear death so he can keep us enslaved. But once you say, man, fuck death. Fuck you, Satan. You can't put us in slavery. You're not enslaving our minds anymore. We're free of our minds. You can't enslave our minds anymore. The Lord broke that already, man. The Lord already revealed to us this is not our rest. And Satan hates that shit. And now the slaves are getting loose. So now they're the problem. That's why they demonize us, man. They hate this awakeness, man. They hate the spirit of YAHAWASHI. They really hate our power. They don't hate us. It's the power that we represent. Because these devils, they wish they could crucify the Lord and arrest him. Right. These fucking devils. You already did that. Yep. You already crucified him 2,000 years ago. Now he's coming to get busy. Now he's coming to kill and catch bodies. And you're going to be the first. You're the one on the hit list. You're number one on the hit list, man.
Book of Hebrews chapter 2, verse 13, it says, and again I will put my trust in him, and again, behold, I and the children which the Most High have given me. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had power of death, that is the devil.
That's right. So what's sin? Sin is death. Now in the kingdom of heaven, the elect, it says in 1 Corinthians 15, the elect are going to have victory over death. Yahawashi already defeated Satan. He already defeated death. So you brothers getting scared out there, and you sisters, oh, the chip, where you going to take the chip? The Lord already defeated Satan, already defeated death. Right. The elect are not going to take the chip, man. Right. So don't put that in your mind and let that manifest, because you don't take the chip. You can put fear in your own mind. You fear something so much, you put fear. It's like you're going to get in a physical fight. You're going to get a fight with somebody, you're like, I'm going to get my ass beat. You lost the fight already. But in your mind, you're going to have that confidence, man, fuck that. I'm going to beat this motherfucker.
And you know how you get that confidence is by doing the work. Like, Mayweather not going to go into a fight scared because he's been training. And this is our training right now. We're training right now so that when that time comes, we're not going to be afraid because we already prepared ourselves for that hour of temptation, for that time. The people that's going to be afraid of people that didn't prepare, that didn't train. Right. So when they have to enter into that fight, everybody's going to have to enter into that ring. But if you didn't prepare yourself, you're going to get knocked out, you're going to be scared, you know? That's why the Lord said, in the fearful and unbelieving shall take.
That's like David and Goliath. Everybody was scared of Goliath. Right. He was taunting Israel for 40 days. People were scared of him. Even King Saul, he was a warrior. But David was like, man, that's why people are like, what the fuck? You ain't up there. This guy's undefeated champion, warrior. He got experience, but his heart was sincere. The Lord raised him up to destroy Goliath. So it's the same thing again. You devils are Goliath. This is your world. You're blessed with the sword you have. We understand that. We understand we can't beat you physically. How we beating you right now through the Spirit of the Lord. The Lord is smashing and thrashing you. And then real soon you are going to get smashed. Yes, you are. Right. Down my battle axe and weapons of war, my fishing to hunters. That's going to happen, man. That's right. But you're going to declare war. You're going to take out that sword. You're going to say, man, fuck the propaganda. Let's take out this sword and let's mow down these Israelites, man. And then when that storm comes, that's when that standard's going to get lifted, man. That's when the Lord going to show himself. So we might get thrown in whatever, man. Get thrown in prison, chop our heads or whatever. You already lost, man. You could gun us down right now. You could take a contract mercenary, pull up, and the black van, we all die right now. You're still going down.
The thing is, Lord have them where they don't even touch us.
Right.
The Lord said, we're the angels that can't provide him that fear the Lord.
You might go shoot us, and then all of a sudden the bullets start hitting you.
Yep.
And then we're going to do a sit down.
That's why they don't
record it right there. Right. That's look, the Lord did to this, but y'all shot up. Well, got bullets in his face. Look, you motherfucker. You can't fuck with our power, bitch.
That's right.
Gosh,
that's right.
Yeah, that's going to start. Hey, that probably did happen already. You probably send some crazy people to do shit. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
The Lord got us, man. You might have some people do some shiesty shit. You might have some agent provocateurs amongst us. That's why Lord took him out.
Hey,
and killed him.
If I made one of the brothers that's strong in the truth, he's blind, Jeff. He caught corona and he
in the nursing home.
and he healed from it. You know what I'm saying? Because he had the strength, he had the zeal on him where they thought they were going to take him out. And, you know, usually in the nursing homes, that's when you go out of here because they don't give a shit about you. But that young brother is still fighting post-corona. All right?
And blind too, look at that.
And blind. When Tazadaki, he got that shit and he was out of here in a matter of weeks. his brother is still fighting. So y'all can hit us with something. And yo, man, they got a new flu out right now. Yo, oh, yeah, he might be.
Yeah, but when he died, it was like mysterious.
Yeah, and it was secretive too. Like, yo, man, they got a new flu out called the rhino disease, man. They said this the season for COVID, swine flu, the flu, and rhino flu. My family doctor was like, yo, you want the flu shot? I was like, hell no. He was like, yeah, I know you. Every year I ask you that, you always say no. I'm like, no, I'll never get none of that shit. And I'm willing, if I get it, he might heal me by my stripes, man. Right. You know what I'm saying?
They doing that in the UK. They going door to door, checking vaccinations, checking to see if people are sick or whatever the case may be. So that's coming over here, man. Trump talking about the Operation Warp Speed and all that. It's gonna get real, man.
They're using dogs now too. They train dogs that can sniff out if you got COVID. How is that even possible? Wow. It's like I got a cold. Yeah, a dog is gonna come to me and tell me, "Oh, you smell like you got COVID."
That's why you got COVID.
They got a chip for it now. DARPA, they basically got something called a biochip, where they're saying that the chip can be implanted. It's literally the microchip, but it's also going to detect whether you have COVID or if the next person around you has COVID, like a sensor. You know, so they can use that to say, okay, well, did you catch the flu? You don't need to go to the hospital. They can remotely find out who has the virus, who doesn't have the virus, who has the vaccine, who doesn't have the vaccine, and they linked it with the medical field, because they know that when bringing out the chip, if it's financial, you can say, I don't want it. But if it's medical, we can force it on you by saying in the name of public health, we're going to force it on you.
That's why they tax you, penalize you on the taxes if you don't have medical insurance.
Exactly.
Which forces you to get the medical insurance.
Yeah. And you got people saying that, like the elders mentioned about, will the elect get forced to take the chip? That's an invalid statement, because the definition of elect is that you won't get the chip.
Right.
So you can't say, will the elect be forced to take the chip because the elect are not going to take it? Why did the Lord say, I will keep you? Why did the Lord specify that he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation? So the Lord, whatever, hey, you might be held down, and something is going to happen to where that is not going to happen.
Right.
You cannot take the chip by definition of being an elect.
Everybody try to chip you, then they fucking die. Everybody try, the next person try to chip you, then they fucking die.
Right. That the shreds don't go inside.
You know, go inside, yeah.
You can't pierce you, yep.
Hey, that's the type of faith you're gonna have. You're gonna have to have faith. You know what I mean? I wish I always said that. Oh, you little faith. Oh, you little faith. Like even when one time they put us on blast, was it last year in the media with the Israelites? They was too scared about that shit. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Like, what the fuck do you think this is, man? Some Boy Scout, like we all just get together on a Saturday. You know what, man? This is quote some scriptures and be out there in the corner. You know how serious? You always said that. You always told me that. Like, yo, man, you gotta start fucking moving right, man. You gotta start fucking moving correct. You gotta start moving circumspect, man. Motherfuckers is watching, man. And the elder's right, man. I'm like, holy shit, because I was, in my ignorance, I was moving stupid. Like, you know, whatever. But the elder told me, like, you gotta get on the shit, man. You gotta, this is, you know, you gotta move correct, man. You can't be moving like, and it's real. I'm like, you know what? What the elder's saying is right, man. That's why you gotta listen, man. Like, you know what? You have to really be careful. In these times, man, you gotta be careful, man. Your own family and friend will turn on you. Because they trust in that world, they trust in that media. When they demonize the shit out of us, yo, don't be surprised your own mommy turns you in. That's how real this is. Your own kids, your family. That's how real this is, man. And if you're not getting prepared mentally for that, that shit gonna destroy you, man. My mommy.
All you gotta do is put a little bullshit bounty on you.
That's it.
Look at these so-called friends in the world. They'll do a robbery or some shit together. Somebody might get killed or hurt, and they put like a $10,000 reward out. But then, like a couple days, they start singing on each other.
Yeah.
For 10,
man.
For 10,000, for 15, 20,000, they turn each other in, or your family or people. They get wind that you did it, they call up, turn you right in. And Esau's so wicked, a lot of that reward money, he don't even give to the fucking people.
No, you don't.
Keep it.
Keep it. Yeah.
There it is. You done betrayed your best friend. He want to kill you for stabbing him in the back. And all that reward money, or they hit you with, oh, it was other people that called that led up to the arrest. It wasn't just you. And then, yeah, man, them devils is something, man. Yeah. A lot of that reward money, they don't give that shit out. There it is. You done broken up your friendship, betrayed your loved one and everything, just for that little piece of change. They don't even fucking give it to you, you know, half the time.
You got that? I got this one. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
It's talking about us. We're rich in the spirit, but we're poor. 10 carnal things, but we're rich in the spirit. spirit. And that's the riches that you devils never had. You're worth hundreds of trillions of dollars, but you're poor. You're dead poor, man. We're rich, but we got the truth. We got the life, man. Go ahead.
It says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
And that's you devils, man. That's you Amalekites. You top elites that rule this, you wicked satanic elites that rule the system, man. Right?
Hey, and that's beautiful that you said that because they actually put it in plain sight. The trailer or the video montage that they had for the World Economic Forum with the whole global reset. In that video, which I believe Richie from Boston, he always shows it, and I was watching it, and right in the middle, they show you about chaos and so on and so forth that's happened, and somebody had a sign that says SOS, which represents Synagogue of Satan. So I had to do some research, and I was like, yo, why are they putting that out in plain sight? So SOS, you might be thinking, oh, it's just a signal, yeah, emergency signal, but it actually means Synagogue of Satan, man.
They say, save our ship.
Right, right. You know, verse 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
He's gonna give us the crown of life, man. So really, this whole death is really a fucking illusion. You're gonna die. You're gonna be persecuted. It's all an illusion from the devil, man. That's what they want to say. They want to have us. Oh, we're gonna die. They want you to fear them. We're supposed to be fearing the Lord. You see? But the elect are going to defeat that, man. YAHAWASHI already laid down the blueprint of that, how to defeat that, man. And the elect are going to defeat it, man. And they're going to be transformed, and they're going to be turned into immortals. Matter of fact, let's bring out life now. Bring out 1 Corinthians 15. Bring out life, man. That's the thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right quick, that word devil, it said the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Now, when you get the Strongs on that, it tell you the word devil, it says prone to slander, a slanderous, accusing, the word devil that going to cast you into prison, because spiritual demons, Satan, not going to grab you up and throw you into prison.
Physical, yeah.
So for you Christians out there, because y'all always see that word devil and don't apply it to a person, but the word devil here in Revelations 2:10, it tells you prone to slander. And what Esau, you accused of thy own mother's son, like the scripture said. You always slandering Jake, they the criminals, they the thugs, they the thieves. You know, they the ones with the high risk with the virus, and you name it, you know, prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. And that's what you do. You'll falsely accuse us, and even what y'all trying to do now with this whole FBI thing and team for the Jersey City shooting and all that. Accusing falsely. False accuser, slanderer, metaphor, applied to a man by whom by opposing the cause of God may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. So there you go. It says, I'm going to read that again. The second definition, a metaphor applied to a man whom by opposing the cause of the Most High may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. So that's edification on that word devil in that verse to show you that the devil is not talking about, always talking about spiritual demons sick. You got it.
I was going to say, because you said opposing what is called God, and it says I played a part. You said it says played a part, and that's why it says in 2 Thessalonians he coming
or
show that wicked
part of the devil or to side with
him.
Yeah.
In 2 Thessalonians it says then shall that wicked be revealed, whose coming is after the workings of Satan,
who opposes.
And that word workings goes into the Greek energia or energy. So he comes in the energy of Satan. So that's how you know there's an actual physical counterpart that is playing the side or working with the actual spiritual demon Satan.
Physical sons of Satan.
Exactly. Yeah. Because as the scripture said, you have the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked.
They literally ruled by Satan. And that's why you gotta realize. In these last days, you're gonna realize these people that rule the world are sick, sadistic motherfuckers, man. They're twisted, man. They drink blood, they sacrifice children. I mean, look what they did here to our people. Here in North South Central America. Human trafficking, the slaughter, the transatlantic slave trade. It was cutting off our noses, raping our women, castrating our men. Those castrating us, hanging us from trees, raping our women in front of us, all this shit, man. And raping our children. They still do that. It tells you that in Joel, they still do that now. Human trafficking is like a $35 billion business a year. You know what I mean? Women go missing and children go missing every year, especially around these times, these ritualistic times, man.
Just want to add on.
Go ahead.
You know, my lady, she's into Homeland Security. Like that's what she's studying in college. So she be telling me, she's like, she focuses more on human trafficking. You know, she said she took the course and she wasn't happy about what she was seeing. So she wanted to make a change. I said, yo, that's not your job. You're not gonna work. It's not gonna work for you. But the point is, she has intel. Like she be knowing what's happening and stuff. She said most of the trafficking, we might think you might be standing there, you might see a van that might pass and grab somebody, throw them in the back. No, it doesn't work like that. She said they use words. They'll come up to you and tell you about opportunities. For example, you might be having you and your child somewhere, and they prey on people who are weak. So people who don't really have a real family, and they're looking for something. A homeless shelter, yeah. So they'll come up to you and they'll be like, hey, like I have a great opportunity for you. You might be living in Cali. They'll be like, yo, there's a great job in Thailand for you. You know, all you gotta do is just come over there and then we'll introduce you and so on and so forth. And then you'll be like, yo, I don't have the ability to go there. So they'll say, well, we can do it for you, but you're gonna have to work to pay us back. So once you start working, you might be agreeing to work for a month or two. Next thing you know, you work in 6 years. And you can't leave because there's a contract. And if you decide to leave, they'll just kill you right there and then harvest your organs, man. So this is actual things that happen in real life. A lot of these children that go missing, they hide it from their parents because they don't want their parents to find out about the deals that they're making behind closed doors. Because they tell them, don't tell nobody about this. It's gonna ruin the opportunity that you have. And then they take them and sneak them away, man, and they never come back.
And a lot of the kids that get trafficked, they have fucked up backgrounds. Their family structure is destroyed. The mother's out there drugging or hoeing and the father's not in the household. And that's what they do. That's why African Bambaataa did what he did in the Bronx. That was where he harvested, that's where he feasted that man, them children in poverty. That's just all that you seen Vampire vs. the Bronx on Netflix? Man, y'all gotta see that. It straight up shows you how Amalek, they straight up is Amalek's vampire, and they go around, they gentrifying and they killing Jakes, they killing Israelites. And you watch that movie, they straight up tell you in your face what they do. There was a part where a vampire said they killed one Jake, and they was like, oh, we do away with you people. Who's gonna know anyway? You people are disposable. Yo, they show you in Vampire versus the Bronx, yo. And Amalek is the vampires. Check that out. Y'all gotta see that.
If I may say, off of the brother, Juan said, yo, my Eve just had a dream this morning, like 5 in the morning. Said she got kidnapped by Esau, Edomite woman, and she was like, she was calling out all type of prayers, and somehow she got away. But the whole fact that the brother bring that out on how human trafficking is such a high rate as far as what Edomites or what Esau in this wicked world is up to right now, that it don't make no sense, man. But I wanted to bring out a quick precept as opposed to the death that they trying to bring upon our people. We're gonna always elevate through that because through the elect, they can't stop us. Or Lord willing, us men of the Lord, but through the elect, they can't get to the elect. Like the brother said, ain't no way in the hell it's possible that the elect might take the chip. That's a whole concrete fact that they won't take the chip. And through this precept right here, I can prove it. St. James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Okay, so those men are promised that we're gonna get the crown of life. All right. And there's men that there's no way that they're gonna be tempted throughout Satan's temptations, or any way that this world is trying to offer the chip or anything else, man, or any type of robbery. So a man like elder like the brother Tazaya, they tiptoeing around. It might be that they trying to come to him with other than just trying to get evidence on him or anything. They might be just trying to get that brother to sell us out. Yeah. And they don't know how to come at him like that because they already know what the answer gonna be with him.
Yep. They showed you about
and then they don't want to expose themselves. You know, Esau like
they subtle.
They ain't the type guy you could just show him a suitcase full of money. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, because they read personality, they the feds. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this dude's gonna expose us or, you know what I'm saying? So Esau try to come with shit. They say the enemy shall treat me well doing
Get more aggressive too. Yeah. At the time we move by, they're gonna get more aggressive.
Hey, it's like even with Judas didn't sell out until that Satan entered into Judas. And these devils, they obviously working with Satan, so they can tell who got Satan in them and who doesn't got Satan in them. they're not going to come to a man of the Lord trying to give them a son. They're going to go to somebody that they see that doesn't really have the spirit of YAHAWASHI now trying on them.
Right. Going straight to Adam.
Yep.
Right.
And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna come after your woman. They're gonna do that witchcraft. Come to your woman, put some fear tactic on your woman, your parents,
Cause like stress in your life.
stress in your life.
Once shit start breaking down around you, and that's why the key thing is faith. Because a lot of things be happening in your personal life, on your job, with your woman, and all this happen, then that's how they break you down.
Don't threaten your woman with time. You know what? You with him, right? And he's with that. Conspiracy, that's 5 years. And then you won't, what? Women of the world, the majority, they're gonna be like, man, fuck that, hell no. That's when you're gonna see who's real, man. That's why it's beautiful all this is going down, because the real ones are gonna stand firm, and the fakies, they're gonna be destroyed. That's why hardship is needed, because it shows people's character.
Right.
You know what I mean? It makes sense. Like, it shows character, man. So it's like when you rich and shit, it's all good. You popping bottles in the club, everybody's your friend and shit. Look at MC Hammer. He had 5,000 people on his payroll. And then when he hit rock bottom, now what? You know what I mean? Like, that's what happens, yo. When it's all good, when you party and you chill, everything's good. But when hardships come, who's gonna be there? And the men of the Lord gonna be there, man.
It's a saying, when your back's against the wall, your character gets revealed.
Yup.
First Peter chapter 1, verse 6. Wherein we greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptation, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahawashi Mashiach.
Scripture, man. Heaviness, gold, man, that goes in. Endure to the end. That means suffer patiently, man. So really, this pain that we go through is really healing us, man. The Lord's taking all that gunk and shit out of us. That's that fire that you go through, because in the kingdom, we ain't gonna take the mentality of this bullshit world. We ain't taking that with us in the kingdom, man. All this shit that we done been taught here, all that's gonna be done away with. And this kingdom's gonna be done away with, man. So it makes sense that the Lord is purging all that shit out of us. And we see the benefits now. Wisdom that we have, what's the benefit of it? We see it now. The Lord shields us from the bullshit of this world, man. We can see through a girl with big booty and big tits. We can see that's a problem. We can see the ratchetness. We know we conquer the flesh. We fight the flesh and say, nah, she look bad as hell, but she's a badass headache. The logic and the wisdom kicks in. The Lord already forewarned me about this. And I went through my trial. You know what I mean? So we see the benefits of it now and how it shields us from the bullshit of the world. Because this world will destroy you. It's not this truth that destroys you. This truth purifies you. It's the world that will destroy you. Sure. We're fighting this world. It's not the truth. But then guys that fell out get it twisted. Yeah. You know?
First, Isaiah chapter 48, verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction.
Furnace of affliction, man. Fire. So you're supposed to catch hell. You're supposed to go through shit. And guess what? When you're going through shit, at the time, you don't even understand sometimes. You be like, man, Lord, why am I going through this? You know what I mean? Why is this happening? But then that's when you got to trust in him. You know what, Lord? I don't know why this is happening, but I know you got my back, and I'm going to trust in you. Then afterwards, you realize why. You know what I'm saying? So you're not supposed to be like, oh, shit, what the fuck is going on? And then you just bug out. Because you put power in your own hands, man. You got to trust in the Lord, man. Even when there's things happening that you don't understand, trust in the Lord, man. And then later on, you're going to realize it. Look, when this shit pops up, when it really all hell breaks loose, and then people are bugging the fuck out, unstable out here, losing it, killing each other for fucking Oreo cookie and shit. People losing their God, and we stable. But look, the Lord already warned us. You're going to see the benefits then. All the hell that you're going to be like, Lord, thank you for putting me through all that shit that you've been through. I see why you put me through all that shit. Because I'm mentally stable now. Everybody, majority of people bugging the fuck out.
Like I'm saying, like you get numb to that.
You get numb to shit.
There's going to be a lot of shit that's going to happen that people are going to, because of their feelings, how they feel, they're going to fall. But the Lord has made us numb, so we're not going to feel these different things. People want to being evicted or you know, having your job fired because you don't take the mandatory vaccine. All these things are going to, he's going to affect your emotions and your feelings. But the Lord made us numb by going through this fire, so we're not going to feel it. You know, we might be like, oh, fuck it, but like, you know, at first you might be like, yo, what the fuck? But at the end of the day, like you said, we trust in the Lord, so we know that we're going to get through it. But a lot of people, they're going to fold because of how everything is making them feel.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding.
Hey, so it says what? He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. So what you were bringing out, when you lack understanding, like in my earlier years in the truth, I used to get mad about a lot of shit. But now when understanding sinks in, you don't get as upset about it because you know it's all the Lord's will. You know, the way the nigga woman behave, or the way your moms or your pops or your in the family coming at you, the way your Eve dealing, or certain things that happens in life. As the more understanding you get on something, you know, like, oh, this how things supposed to be. This how the Lord made things. Oh, that's just the curses that's on our people. Now, you might know that when you first come into the truth, but the more understanding sinks in based upon that, you don't get agitated. It's like shit don't bother you no more. Now, as being a righteous man and you hating and shooing evil like Job, now you will get like righteously, with your indignation, you'll get agitated with certain things like the gays in society, like the transgender, certain things you see, but you're not as agitated. You as cool as a fan because you're watching everything play out. So that's why the Lord said that. Read that again.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding.
Yeah, because the understanding helps you not snap out. I mean, that's why I said wisdom and knowledge shall give the stability of that time. Because with wisdom and knowledge, you get what? Understanding is a part of, well, in order to use wisdom, you need knowledge and understanding. Once you got knowledge on something, once you got understanding on something, you're able to apply wisdom. You know what I'm saying? When you make an unwise decision, you don't have enough knowledge on that topic and you don't have enough understanding on that situation. So that's why when you made a decision on that situation, it wasn't that wise because you lack knowledge and understanding on that situation. So those two both give you wisdom. But when the gift of understanding, it prevents you from snapping out. It keeps you calm, it keeps you cool. But like a lot of our people into the street life and shit like that, when they don't understand like why they poor, why they impoverished, they can't figure out life, they can't figure out like why things not working, they be agitated. Fuck, man, fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but when they get that understanding, you be like, oh, then those things happen to them, you just be cool as a fan.
That's the sound mind, that's the peace.
That's the sound mind, that's the peace. That's why YAHAWASHI said, in me you shall find peace. But in the world, you shall have tribulation. See, YAHAWASHI give you that peace, because he give you that understanding on who you are, what you're going through, what you're going to receive, and why these different things happen. Brothers falling out. Hey, brother used to fall out of the truth around me all the time. Close brothers to me. And I used to just be like, fuck that shit. Now when brothers do it, I'd be like, oh, hey. And I always knew the scripture in the latter times, men shall depart from the faith. I always knew that scripture, but the understanding and the depths of it ain't really sink in. So now when the brothers do it, now I'd be like, oh, you out? You going? All right. All right, bro.
I mean, you want to come back.
Hey, some brothers, I tell, hey, man, don't come back. Because there be certain brothers that do it 2-3 times. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you want to come back, don't come back.
Especially if you leave dishonorable, too.
Yeah.
That's nothing about
and I ain't trying to sound unbrotherly,
no.
You know, you try to win them over, but sometimes when a man got his mind made up, you ain't good.
That's the thing about this truth, man. Sometimes I don't like to do it. I don't like to do it, man. Sometimes you got to get nasty. I mean, sometimes you have to do that. You can't just be a nice guy in this thing. Sometimes you have to get nasty at times, man. That's just how it is. And it really to excel, really, to back what we said, elder and wisdom, is to analyze yourself, man. And everybody's the problem. No, motherfucker, it could be you, man. You gotta look at your bullshit in the mirror and say, you know what, and admit to it. And say, you know, I got this, I got that, I gotta fix, man. Accountability, man. So that's how you better yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at yourself, look, this is my flaw, this is what I got, and then you attack that demon. You know what I mean? You can't say
accountability breeds responsibility. You learn to be responsible by holding yourself accountable.
Like everybody's fault. What about you though, man?
Yeah, brother riffing to me, Salaki Elder, but brother was recently riffing to me about eat this, eat that, eat that. I'm like, listen, women gonna be women. But you give them the power. I'm like, listen, don't tell me no more shit about women. You give them the power to do that shit.
Right.
You give them the power to do that shit. Start holding yourself accountable. And that's what the men in this society don't do. They don't teach you to be accountable. They teach you to bitch and complain about shit, man. You gotta take accountability for your fucking actions, man.
That's right.
And when you learn to do that, you can be held responsible and take responsibility, man. And that's how the wise saying go. Accountability breeds responsibility. Oh, niggas betrayed me. Okay. Well, what you do to allow these niggas to get power to do some shit like that? Oh, she stabbed me in the back. Oh, she did this. He did that. Oh, he did that. He did that. Okay, they was wicked. You trusted them, this and that. But where did you fuck up at in allowing them to get leverage over you like that?
And then sometimes that shit, when you go through that, you get so stained. Cause you go through shit in this truth. You get hurt, you get backstabbed. Then you start thinking, oh, brothers is wicked. Then you let Satan win. Cause now you got this mentality where like, man, fuck everybody. That's not what this thing is about, man. This thing's about forgiveness. That's where forgiveness comes in. That's where mercy comes in. That's when 7 times 70. Just because you get a little problem with a brother, you don't wish death upon him in destruction. That's like your family. You grew up with, you have fights with your brother. You still love him. So how much more for brothers in the truth? And I'm saying, so this whole thing is really about self-analyzing yourself. This ain't no joke, man. And if you don't have that humility, you don't have that meekness, lowliness, you ain't gonna make it, man. You're not gonna make it, man.
Like, speaking on understanding, there was a song that J. Cole made, and in the lyrics he said, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Because if you fool me the first time and I don't learn from that, and you fool me again, then I can't blame you, I gotta blame myself. Now
These souls don't want to be saved.
Yeah. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. It says, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Because understanding that knowledge is the knowing the who, the what, the when, the where, but the understanding is the why. You know, because we might read the whole scriptures, but we might, if you read the verse and Yahawashi says this, he says this, for example, Yahawashi told the disciples dealing with the Pharisees, do as they say. He says, do as they say, but not as they do. Now you gotta understand, why did Yahawashi say that? If you just know that that's what Yahawashi said, but you don't understand why, you can't apply that to your life. You gotta look at what the Pharisees were doing against what they were saying. The Pharisees will tell you the right thing to do, but they were hypocritical and they would do the wrong thing. So you gotta do what they're saying, but you don't do as they're doing. And once, like the elder was saying, once you understand why, you won't do it again. For example, when your child does something bad, you tell them, look, don't do that because it's bad. That's the knowledge. They know I shouldn't do that. But if their child doesn't understand why they shouldn't do it, who's to say next time they won't do it again? So if they do it and then you beat their ass, then they're gonna say, yo, you know what? Let me not go steal, because when I steal, this is the why. When I steal, my mom is gonna beat my ass. And I understand why I shouldn't steal. So next time I'm gonna apply wisdom with what I know, which is that I shouldn't steal, and why I shouldn't steal, because I got my ass beat last time. And this time I'm gonna apply wisdom and I'm not gonna steal.
And I can add to that, brother, and that's the difference between what life teaches you and what school teaches you. Because school, they give you the lesson first and then they test you. But in life tests you first and then you learn the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go out in life, you see, people learn more effectively when something bad happens to them. People like, they go out, all right, that fire is hot, but they touch it and actually get burned. And then the blisters come and they heal. They can't touch shit. Their feelings is numb. Or they bite something too hot. You like, calm down, don't eat your food. But see, with life, it teaches you the lesson first. It tests you, then teaches you the lesson. Salaki. Life tests you, then teaches you the lesson. And you more prone to learn and they're more prone to sink in. But in this society, they give you the lesson first and they cram it all in with that school shit. And I'm just using that for an example. And then they throw you the test. All right, I'm gonna test you on this, but it's no real depth learning by that standard.
So you always say in school, like, when am I ever going to use this?
Right, yeah.
You got calculus 2 and all this fucking stats and all that. Like, when am I ever going to use this? Because the thing about human nature is, whatever you learn, you want to be able to apply.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why the truth is so beautiful, because everything we learn in the truth, we can apply. There's nothing in the scriptures that we can say, well, I'll never have to use this. Everything we want to have to use, man. And that's why the law of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI is going to be the law of the land, because it's always going to be applied and used.
Just like you said, I got a quick precept. Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever was written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So just as the elder was saying, man, then everything in the scriptures is written for a reason. And that's why certain things the Lord said what? Have it written and published, and certain things he said don't have it written and published. Because the things that we would use that would be necessary for salvation are the things that we have, you know? So going back to what you were saying about, and what this elder was saying about learning from life, life teaches you through experience, you know, and that's that test, that first-hand test. I experienced something, and that's more memorable than being told something. Because you can't teach experience, you have to feel experience, you know?
And these fucking professors, man, they be like accounting teachers, but they never had an accounting major. They be teaching business, but you be like, yo, have you ever owned a business? They be like, no. They be teaching a real estate class, but they don't own no fucking real estate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is a whole parenting type thing. Like, yo, how would you got these dudes up there teaching a curriculum that they never had a feel or never, that don't got no hands on? Like, I don't want to hear shit from you being teaching a real estate class if you don't own fucking property. At least one. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, because that's like no experience. That means like you went to some book school and you just parroting shit. You can't tell me like glitches and ins and out or do's and don'ts or this and that. Because you can tell somebody one thing by the book. Say like you can teach somebody how to be a cop by the book, but you take that cop from the field, he's like, listen, all that shit don't work out here. Listen, when you out here and you do this and that and you undercover, don't apply that shit. That shit will get you killed. And they able to X certain things out of the book and teach you the in-depth things about that topic. But I just wanted to say that because these people in this society that they set up to teach you these different things, they don't have experience in those fields at all.
Right. Hey, like you mentioned, because people change. Things change constantly. So if you're going by the book can't give you every possible scenario. The book can tell you, oh, if you approach this guy, you were undercover, more than likely you'll do this, so you do this. But what happens when you do it and he doesn't do what the book says? Now you stuck. You know, but with somebody with experience, he probably gonna go there and say, oh shit, the book ain't work. This is what he actually did. You know, nowadays this is what they actually do. They don't do what it says in the book anymore. So you gotta go based off of experience. You know? And that's really the most high teaching you, man. Okay?
That's why Paul said, "Be all things to all men," because everybody's different. So you got to know how to be able to move with everybody.
Right. Quick precept. It's a book of Psalm chapter 82, verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. All right. So going back to what the elder and the brothers and apostles said. All right. Everything is out of course. So where the scriptures, where you're supposed to be tested, so you can learn a lesson. They teach you a lesson, which means nothing, and then they test you. And then the test is not even about, okay, you pass the test.
It's a written test.
It's a written test.
Right.
You can't even, most of the tests we take, you take the test and you forget everything you learned. That most of the time we just cheat on these tests, man, because it's not going to benefit you.
It's a memory thing.
It's a memory, exactly.
Or like Lincoln Tech, you'll study the book and take a test. But it's not like, all right, now go out there and put that, I took the engine out that car, now you go out there and put that engine back in that car. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too much. Now, don't get me wrong, certain schools have like clinicals, like a lot of nursing and stuff like that, but overall, that whole school system and how this setup is, they give you that bullshit test on the back end. You know, but with life, the lesson comes first. They say if you want to learn to do something, just do it. You want to know about real estate? Now, of course you do the research, but hey, that Nike saying, just do it. Once you want to learn how to fight, hey, go pick with Big Show. You learn how to fight. He knocked your ass down a couple times. You learn how to duck that jab. You get hit with enough uppercuts and stuff like that. You will learn from what? Those experiences, you know?
First, Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 4. It says, Therefore the law is slack, and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. And that's what's going on in this world, man. You know, wrong judgment is proceeding because even the ways of learning is backwards, man. Even the ways of us getting understanding and knowledge is backwards. You know, you're getting your wisdom, and the thing is, our people, they pride themselves on their doctrines or their master's degree, and none of that shit means anything because when it comes to practical things, they can't do. You know what I mean? Practicality is not practiced in Babylon, man. It's all about, because you was able to memorize something and then regurgitate it, that means that you're smart. You know, that's why we even say the truth. If you're going to be a man of the Lord, you're not supposed to just regurgitate what you're hearing. That's why Paul esteemed the church of Berea, because what did they do? They heard what he said, but they also went back and went and actually studied to see if those things were true. People don't do that in this world. These people that's in these churches, they don't really go back to study what the pastor was saying to see if that was actually biblical or not. You know, when you go to schools, you don't really get to question your professor or not. And when you do question the professor, it actually, when you have a person that has knowledge and they actually questioning the professor actually respects that person more. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's a studier. And then you actually get to school your professor because they just really learn the same way that they're teaching you. They just learn everything and read a book. Now these people, that's why a lot of Babylonians, they're not smart, man. They're dumb.
And education stops. See, in their mind, they by that degree in paper, a lot of people stop learning after, once they get their degrees and shit, learning stop. You know what I'm saying? That's the beautiful thing about this truth. Learning always continue and go on. You always digging into something or going into something else. So see, once you get that master's degree, they say, "Oh, I got mine. You got to get yours." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got my education. Like, what you mean you got your education? Now they using the wrong term, but what they're saying is, I've been educated, I'm done. They put the ED on it here, like past tense. No. Or then when they say, if they got their bachelor's, they say, I'm continuing my education. Then they get their master's and say, okay, I got my master's, I've mastered my education. But you ain't mastered shit. You know what I'm saying? It's other things in that field that you gotta, things change and, you know, you gotta upgrade to.
You know how backwards and worse Esau society has gotten? Because back during the Romans and Greeks, it was a great thing to be a philosopher. But now if you try to go to school for a philosophy degree, you're going to be looked at as being, what are you going to do with that? You know what I mean? But back in the ancient world, philosophers and Stoics, they were actually, you know, wise men. You know, men that had, they were esteemed men. They were probably like, besides doctors, they was like right up there with
like
them, man.
On Game of Thrones?
Yeah, like Socrates and all them. They were wise men. But now, nobody wants to be a philosopher. But we're the real philosophers, man. We're the real philosophers. We're the real historians. You know, we're the real magicians. Not magicians, math magicians. That's what
Mathematicians?
Mathematicians, because math really means truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're the real, and that's being good at math, being good at history, and being a good philosopher. Hey man, that's a wise person right there, man.
Yeah. Because you got a little bit of everything that you can comprise, and that's one thing. See, in school, they're teaching a major in one thing, you know? So you're only quote-unquote educated in one field, if that. But in this truth, the one thing we majoring in being this truth requires us to gain knowledge from everywhere. You know, you learn how to teach people. You know, you actually learn how to be a teacher. A lot of teachers do not know how to teach. They know what to teach, but they don't know how to teach. They can tell you what it is, but the thing with teaching is conveying what you're trying to say to the person and making sure they understand it. And then there's a saying that you don't truly understand something until you're able to teach it.
Right.
Because you need to understand it, and if you're able to teach it, that means what? You've experienced all the different questions, all the possible avenues it could go through. But if you just know it and you regurgitate it, what happens when somebody asks you a question about it? What are you gonna reference? You're just gonna reference that one point that you know, oh, I heard it from here. Then you don't really know it. You're just repeating what you heard. But if you learn something, for example, 2 + 2. If you learn 2 + 2 and somebody asks you what's 2 + 2, you say 4. They say, why is 2 + 2 4? You can explain to them. Well, if you have 2 apples, Johnny, and you add another 2 apples, you have 4 apples now. You see how that works?
That's the breakdown.
That's the breakdown, exactly.
You got to go into whole numbers and mixed numbers. You know what I'm saying? You could be like 2 halves plus 2 halves is not 4, but 2 wholes of everything is 4. Even if it's 2 larger apples or smaller apples, you could get into like negative numbers, fractions, mixed numbers, percentage. Because you could be like, don't get me wrong, I'm saying 2 + 2 is 4. I mean 2 wholes plus 2 wholes equals 4 wholes. I'm not saying 2 halves plus 2 halves is 4. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh, okay. You know, so because now you're getting into like a breakdown, the meat of it. You know?
All right, quick precept, Nehemiah 8:8. So they read in the book of the law of the Most High distinctively and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading. And it said gave the sense, man. When you're able to break down, when the Lord, that's why the Lord said, I will give you pastors after my own heart that will feed you with wisdom and understanding, because they're going to be able to give you the sense of why why what we're telling you makes sense and why we're actually bringing out this information. These people in these churches, once again, they just read it, John 3:16, and they say, thank God for the reading of the word. And then that's it. That's it. And it won't give you the sense, man. And it said read distinctively. And that's the thing that separates a man of the Lord, a true man he's put his spirit into bringing out this truth than these regular people, because you're going to read it distinctively, man. You're going to give the life to it, like how Elder Gabar always talks about. You got to have the imagery when you read the scriptures, the vision to read the scriptures. That's why I said to read again. So they read the book in the book of the law of the Most High distinctively and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading. So once you give the sense, then you're going to cause the people to understand what's being read. Right. And that ultimately comes through what? The Holy Spirit, because the Lord said, I should give you the Holy Spirit. He shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance.
God. Hey, you bring, first you tell them what it is, you explain it to them, you give them examples, because examples help a lot, man. When you learning, even if it's math, for example, giving them an example problem to solve, then shows you where they at. Because okay, I just explained this to you. Now I'm sort of like giving you life, testing you on it. And then wherever you get stuck, we can work from there. Keep practicing and practicing and practicing. So where you make a right, if you know you're not supposed to make a right, next time you can make a left. So examples actually relate what it is you're saying, all right, into something that's real that they can understand.
That's why the Lord always spoke in parables.
Especially if you use an example based upon the walk of life they come from. You know, so say you're breaking down the scriptures, and you know this dude's a mechanic or a gangbanger or whatever, a police officer, and you able to grab an example of his world and tie it into your point. They even understand more like, yeah. You know, I didn't look at it like that. You know, brothers into working out, you know, just like if you put a dumbbell mixed with the bar and it adds 15 pounds, but you can't push it up. We know when the last strain and the protein hill, the same way the Lord do boom, 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 They be like, oh my God, that was excellent. I got it now.
And that's why the Lord always spoke about seeds, sowing seeds, because back in the ancient world, that was one of the main occupations, was being a farmer, being being a shepherd, fishing. That's why the Lord used all these things, because he was speaking to common people. So what was the common things that they did back then? The Lord incorporated the spirit with what they knew, and that's how he was able to get it.
Right, because they could relate to that, because they lived that type of life.
There's a book of 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. All right, so to be able to rightly divide the word of truth, you have to know all things. Okay, and there's a word that describes that, because this is a word that we, as men of the Lord, will be considered. All right, the word is called polymath. All right, P-O-L-Y and M-A-T-H is a person whose knowledge covers a wide variety of subjects. Okay,
Means like
multiple, all right,
like
polygamy. And then it goes to the word manthinian, which means to learn. Okay, so we study, we learn a variety or multiple of subjects so we can teach it. Okay, so like the elder always says, when you learn this truth, unlike going to school where you go, I'm going for a law degree, they teach you things exclusively about American law or civil law and so on and so forth. But here in this truth, you learn about the laws of the Lord, you learn about the laws of the land, okay, you learn about food, the medicines, all right, even learning about spirits and how they work, women, men, children, all that stuff, everything is covered. War, okay, so many different things.
But
all right,
the ultimate law is the Torah, the Torah, and people that go to school for law that become lawyers don't even know that the word lawyer means Levi.
Right.
The way you say Levi in Hebrew is loyah, and the Levites dealt with the services, the sacrifices, and all of that. So they dealt with the law and the services. So the people that's lawyers today don't even know the actual law that they should be learning, the 613 laws based off of the 10 Commandments, because 6 plus 3 plus 1 is 6 plus 3 is 4. 613 and 6 1 and 3 is 10. Salaki.
It's all good.
My man, the 613 laws hang off of the 10 commandments because 6 plus 3 plus 1 is 10. And but those laws is the original lawyers. But now under the second covenant, we are priests. I mean, so we are in the kingdom. We gonna be the lawyers, the kingly priests of Lord. But you ask a lawyer, like, yo, what do the word lawyer mean? What does it originate and go back to? They couldn't be able to tell you.
Hey, that's one thing I can speak for myself and other brothers too. One thing you learn in the truth is that you go into words, okay? Like I'll be reading something and then you have prior knowledge, something that you learned before, but then once you get into that word, you be like, oh, that's what it actually means. You go into the root word and then it makes the whole sentence make sense. So sometimes it's so easy, Esau be using all these different words. When you read it and you actually break it down, you be like, there's a double meaning to that. But the average person, to them on surface level, they'll read it and just be like, oh, that's what they're saying. But if you read it and break it down and go into words, connect it, you be like, oh, this is what they really mean. You see, so you get a better understanding of what's really happening.
And if you know the truth about words, you can do him. And Apostle Gabar brought this out on the last Kent. He went into the word cow, and cow in the Italian is nuca. I'm gonna play it right there. Mucca. That's how you say cow in Italian. Is mucca. Mucca. Mucca, right? So when you think of mucca, what that sound like? Mucus. Yeah. And when you think about when I want to get rid of mucus, anything there, milk, cheese, and all of that. So when you want, and so by you knowing that cow in the Italian is mucca, and you be like, oh, that's where the mucus comes from. So if I need to get rid of mucus, I gotta stop eating anything that pertains to the cow, those dairy products. And now you're able to heal yourself by just knowing what? The truth behind words. Or like the word left. The word left in Italian is sinistra. Because we be like, yo, that's on the left-hand side. And that's where you get the word sin from sinister.
So even Esau do that whole new speech and he perverts his words because in the society, being a queen is considered something that's elevated. You know, a woman want to be queens, but being a mistress is something that's actually looked down upon. When you actually go into the root word, the etymology of what a mistress is, it means the governoress or the head woman of a household. So that's why like, when you have they have like covens or what they're called, they will call them what, the head mistress, head mistress woman. She was basically the one that governed the whole household. So like in the ancient world, when you had your maidens and you had your daughters and you had other women, but you had your wife, she would be considered your mistress. Because we actually go into the Hebrew word for queen. I looked it up. The Hebrew word for queen, I forgot exactly what it is. When we actually go to the definition, it says the lady. Or no, in the Hebrew. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually in the scripture it says the lady, it says the lady, the king of a wife, or the mistress, or mistress. But in this society, being called a mistress is being wicked. Like you're the side bitch, but now you're actually the head bitch in this in the ancient world. You're the head bitch.
Oh, I know what the elder's saying, because when you look up the root word of the word queen, not in the Hebrew, but if you look up the root word, it goes to queon, which means a prostitute. Yeah. So when they go around, or a whore. So when they go around to, well, I'm a queen,
and that's that energy she putting on them. You know, you put that energy on when you call yourself a queen, but the mistress, when you literally think about it, or the mistress girl in this society is actually the one that you favor. Like, yo, this is my mistress, you know what I mean? Like, this is the one that's actually that you deal with more so in this society, but that's really the one that's supposed to be your main girl. Right. Your main girl is supposed to be a mistress.
Like Sarah and Hagar. The most favor in your eyes.
Yeah, Sarah and Hagar, because Sarah had dominion over Hagar and the other maidens that you had. So she's the mistress.
Hey, this the word sin is left. Because we be like, yo, that came from the left-hand side, or that Satan sit on the left hand. And brothers break it down like, well, how you know left means wicked? Well, and a lot of brothers, which is true, they be like, well, if YAHAWASHI sits on the right, who sits on the left? And be like, obviously Satan, you can put it, but the word left, when you really go into it in the Italian, it's sinistra, and you hit it. Sinistra. Yeah, sinistra, and that's in the root word in that is sin. So that's the left-hand side, which is sin. And even people say that shit came out of left field. And normally when they say something like that, it'd be something off or strange or wicked.
Yeah, like we talk like something happens, like you try to do like something, like shit went left. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shit went left, like, it went bad.
Yeah.
And that's this Esau, man. He just, because I was talking about earlier, the power of words. He'll let you use and call yourself and say words that are really derogatory, but because he changed the understanding of it, you got people putting that stuff on him. Like just like for black, for instance, people call themselves saying out I'm black and I'm proud. When you go to the root word of black, it means what? Death. You know what I mean? Or evil. So you're proud to be death. You're proud to be evil. Right. And that energy you put on our people, man.
That's literally what it means in Greek. The word black goes back to the word necro, which means dead. Literally, that's what it means. So when you say, oh, black people, you're saying dead people.
Oh, we Negro.
Oh,
Ezekiel 37.
Ezekiel 37,
yeah. Dry bones.
Right.
Revelation 11 and 8, the dead bodies shall lie in the great city. What do they call it? They call it dead, literally, like you said, dead people.
Ecclesiastes 1 verse 17. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. And then really, because we know all this understanding, we understand and have the wisdom of how things are supposed to be, it gets us more vexed because we see how everybody is so enticed and so wanting to be on the left side. They're so wanting to be ignorant. And that's why the more we gain the true knowledge and true understanding, being in this wicked ass left society, it gets you more mad. It gets you vexed.
I have a precept. This is 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 7. It says, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. Now, why was he vexed and why was it called filthy? Because in order to know if something is filthy, you got to know what's right. So he knew that where he was anti-righteous. It was filthy. Now, verse 8 says, for that righteous man. That's why he was vexed with the filthy conversation. For that righteous man dwelling among them, in seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. So that's the same thing with us. We're in the stead, all right, of Lot, because it's like knowing what heaven is like, but you know, or knowing that you're in hell while being in hell. These people don't know that they're in hell, so it's normal to them.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. So when you wake up and you find out that, yo, I'm actually in hell, like in the Matrix. You know, like the dude that sold him out, I believe in the first Matrix, he made a deal with the agents and he told him, look, I want you to put me back into the Matrix, but I want you to erase my memory. Because I know that this meat I'm eating is not real. But I want to believe it's real. I want to make sure it tastes like it's real. But I can't do that if I already know it. So you got to erase my memory of it and let me go enjoy my ignorance is bliss. And that's these people right here, man. They want to go back to sleep, you know? Hey, but that goes to show you that's why it's so hard for those that come into the truth and leave, because you can't, the Lord ain't going to erase your memory. He might take the truth away from you, but a part of you is still going to know that this shit is off.
That's why they bugged out when they leave, because they be stuck between the world that they trying to go back to, and you stuck between like knowing the truth. So you try to do shit, but you can't comfortably do shit. Because you're like, damn, I'm out here doing this, I'm out here doing that, but it's constantly scriptures popping up in your head, and you just can't comfortably go back into the world. That's why a lot of people just bug the fuck out.
That's why those stronger demons have to come on you.
Right. Yeah.
You can't go back into the world with just the same demon that you had on before you came into the truth, because that demon's not going to be enough to keep you to sift you. That's why 7 more demons stronger than the ones before have to come on you, because now you need something stronger to keep you away from the truth.
Right, it's like you taking like certain pain pills, but you got used to them.
You got up
You
doses.
heal, now you need a higher dosage, or
You went from an Advil to Oxycontin now.
right, exactly. That hold you down. You need that morphine.
That's why they most of them turn around and become backbiters, and they come against those men that were laboring, because they can't let go of the truth. So they gotta find an avenue in which they can still feel as though, you know, because they can't go back into the world. So where do they fit in? They're not in the truth. They can't go all the way into the world. So they stuck with knowing what the truth is, but they gotta do something.
But a lot of them, they turn into scoffers.
Right.
But guess what? All them dudes that were scoffing, like coming up, Izar and all them dudes coming up against the apostles, they will last like a year or two, but after a while they just fade out. Like G-Man and them, all those dudes just like fade out. And the apostles said it. They were like over time, because because you know they've been in. They say, man, we see them guys. They said, man, them guys will be around. I'll give them about 6 months. And word is born, they just you don't hear from them no more. And a new pop-up group of guys will come up, scoffing and this and that, and then after a while, because how long you gonna like really scoff against like unless you're getting paid? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But even after you're getting paid, it's like Esau, like, all right, you ain't doing it no more. I ain't giving you no more money. Get out of here. Because that shit get played out. Like, you can't be like a full-blown, diligent scoffer. I mean,
it's like a one-hit wonder. They're like a nigga that come out with a hot song, so he hot for a little bit. But after a while, if he don't got a good, you know what I mean? He's not going to
yeah, he going to go away. Then a new dude going to come up, but in that same spirit, but it's a new face.
Yeah, new song, different, you know what I mean? Same vibe, new song. That's why this song.
What happened to G-Man? He was hot for a season, making all this noise. The Avenger and all these dudes. I hate to mention their name to probably give them any life, but you know what I'm saying? But when you think about Shrek, the podcast, all these different dudes that came, Nazariah with Israelites, ITR and all of them,
they all gone.
Like, you like, yo, what happened to these dudes?
All of them got chewed up, but just like with Jake, they come out with different diseases to try to affect Jake, but we be immune to that shit.
Because what got us going? YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI is our battery pack. With them scoffers and shit got, they got some battery, but that shit going, them door shells will run out. Them shit's gonna kick in. We plugged into the motherfucking dam. We plugged into the fucking Niagara Falls, baby.
Living waters, yeah.
We got a damn converter box up to the Niagara Falls, man. You know, so and that's what keeps brothers going. But if the Lord pull your plug, is to be humble. You know, the Lord can pull any one of our plugs, and we can use that spark, that energy, and that drive too. Because the main source of power is Him. So we plugged in. You know, in the world, I got the plug. Right. Yeah, the plug is YAHAWASHI. You scoffers and you dudes that fell out coming against the truth, you're not plugged in. You've been unplugged, and all you got is whatever energy that's left in your battery. And once that shit runs out, you out of there. You through. Unless the Lord have mercy on you and plug you back in, but other than that, you through.
Like we was mentioning, like the analogy we was saying, like a candle, when the light goes out, you still have the smoke that stays there for a little while, and then eventually it all just disappears. It's gone. You know.
When I said you had a spark when you started, but now you just garbage.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of these people
shooting star.
Yeah.
Possible garbage. Don't be a shooting star in this truth. You know that, but you start off fast. And looking real good, and you gut out in the end. You know.
Luke chapter 12, verse Luke chapter 12, verse 45. I'll start at 43. It says, "Then the Lord said, who then is the faithful and wise steward, whom the Lord shall make rule over his household to give them their portion of meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he hath. But and if that servant saith in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink and drunken, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not up for him, and at an hour when he's not aware, and will cut him asunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers."
Right. And that's a beautiful precept. And now, you know, it's not talking about actual drinking, literally eating and drinking, because we eat and drink, but we still serving the Lord. But what it means is going back into the world and doing those things, but it says start to beat on the men servants, because then they start to come against you. Why? Because you're doing something that they couldn't finish doing. You know, they fell out, and now they come in and go, oh, why you still doing that, because as the saying goes, misery loves company. You know, people don't like to feel alone doing something, so they want a crowd. You know, they want that whether it's positive or negative, they want energy. You know, so that's what they want to feed off of, man. But like it says, who the Lord will find doing. But the question is, doing what? Okay, He's gonna reward you if He comes and finds you doing what He asked you to do. If you apply for a job and you go there and you're not doing what the job requirement is, do you think you're gonna get paid? No. The contract is you get paid. If you're a janitor, you get paid to clean. If they come and you dancing, do you think they're gonna pay you for that? No, they're gonna fire you because you're not doing your job. All right, so that's the same. Shot comes back, you got to be on your watchtower because the scripture says he's gonna come as a thief in the night, but not to us because we're gonna be watching. Okay, so if you're not watching because you went back in the world and you want to do whatever it is you want to do in there, a lot of people are stressed now. You know why? Because everything in the world is shutting down. You know, the entertainment, the things that you used to want to do in the world. Guess what? Now you're returning, they're not there anymore.
Distractions. Yeah.
Distractions. So now you like,
Man, you gotta feel like all you fucking niggas that fell out. You gotta feel like shit, man. All you dudes that fell out, man. Because that's a heavy point, brother. Salaki to cut you off, but you return to the world, back to your little toys, and it's the Satan be playing niggas, man. Yo, Satan be playing niggas,
Toys
man.
is broke.
Yo, man, yeah, you'll fall out, man. You get burned up. You see Satan on the other side. You should just decadent and shit, man. Yo, Satan be playing niggas, man. You go back in the world and go try to get, like a lot of, like in Europe, a lot of them blocks where niggas hustle and sold drugs on and shit, got cameras and shit. Like you can't do nothing no more. Like the spiders, they like camera that whole shit out.
Hey, the worst thing is all your distraction goes away, and then the Lord at the last time would take Satan, take the demons off of you, and now you realizing everything that's going on because that's what happened to Judas. Because Judas, he got deceived by Satan. He betrayed the Lord, and then after he did that, Satan jumped off of him, and then he got he felt bad, but he couldn't deal with it at that point because it was too much for him. And that's what's gonna happen to a lot of people in these last days. Your distraction's gonna be gone. Them demons gonna hop off of you, and then you're gonna realize, you can't even do the work no more. You can't do nothing. You can't even repent. Because Judas tried to repent, but there was no place for repentance found.
And then the doors of repentance closed.
Yeah, exactly.
So look, you done left. Like, I'm gonna go play with the world. You go back into the world. That's why I said he go back in Matthew 12. He go through dry places.
God.
You know what I mean? He go back to those dry places trying to find comfort and rest. You know, but then you be like, oh, this ain't it. You try to come back to the truth. The apostles are hard through the spirit out. No more new members in GMS, right? And that kind of, and really, when he dropped that the doors of repentance and things just start going down even more. That's when the COVID and we started moving around. Now, if you want to follow the camp, say you a brother trying to come back around now, you trying to follow the camp. If you ain't driving, say a brother be like, all right, you know what? You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't driving, it's going to even be hard. And then his brother got to put the spirit on him, but like, all right, we'll tell you where we at, this and that. But then again, brothers move so much and bouncing here and there in this part of town, that part of town. Yo, if you're not driving, or if you was driving and you're not driving no more, it's over. Only thing you got is like the YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
They're really cracking down on that.
Yeah, and then you ain't got that. So now you're trying to come back to the truth, or you might see a brother like, yo, give me some of that. And he tell you like, I don't have enough wine, I don't have enough oil for hey, please get that, brother, because that's heavy, man. Because look, people with return. I'm telling you, a lot of people, because I see it now. You got a couple men that's trying to get back with the. As far as this can't come back around, see what's up, this and that, but the spirit still ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? The spirit ain't the same, and privileges that you had back then, that shit cut off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna be able to crash the Holy Day, the Passover, see these different things like that. You're gonna have to keep a lot of that on. Then how this thing balling out, we might not, might be times where we get separated or not get up. It's a privilege what we got doing right now, because we do a lot of smaller camps. You know what I'm saying? So, man, hey, the Lord, we living in a time of that oil.
And it's shorter camps too. It's shorter and shorter. So it's like we used to be out there from like 1 to like 6, 7. So let's say you get off at like 3, you can still catch like half of the camp. Yeah. But like now, it's like you got a 2-3 hour span or window. So if you can't get there between,
you can't come to camp.
You gonna come back every move like Shalom.
I hear Shalom. Hey, Shalom, funny as hell. I hear Shalom like, yo, man, you roll, I'm gonna come get you. He like, fuck y'all, I'm going with Bacarnum. Because Bacarnum, I know we bugging about it driving down. He like, yo, Bacarnum be super early. Shalimar Punk type brother. He's like, yo, I'm side with them, bro. Which is wisdom, because what? You do not want to come to camp late, man. Now. You know what I'm saying? Because brothers be out there, and we ain't coming in the spirit like, yo, man, fuck 7 hours, man. We gonna do 2-3 hours. None of us said that. It was just, and then when I watch the other camp, the Apostles to Arnold, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So I know it's the Spirit of the Lord taking this truth out of the earth, man. So if you do got the privilege to come catch a camp, you better not be 45 minutes late and try to look for 15 minutes of parking and then try to walk 5 minutes to brother. Brother might be on this last scripture like, hey, Shalom, YAHAWASHI. Hey, brother Shalom. And you drove a half an hour there, you finished. You're gonna be like, what happened? Ain't nothing happened. We out. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh. And
then you ask them, yo, where y'all gonna be at next week? Like, we don't know.
We don't know. Where you be next week? We don't know. Just catch us on the box. And you go on the box looking for shit. You saw the snip that bitch clip. You like, oh. You trying to look for old notebooks and breakdowns and shit. Satan done stole them shit. I'm telling you, man. Yes. That's why the scriptures see the Lord gave men a fair chance.
God.
He did, like especially men that was around that didn't take, that had access to a camp, that had access to brothers, access to the brotherhood, and didn't take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, other men that just coming along and just learning from the tube, this and that, all right, that's one thing. But other men that's trying to like kind of get back in the mix and replay, and because a lot of times when you come back, you think you picking back up off of the mentality of how things was before. So you coming back around like, oh, okay, you know, same old thing, you know, just COVID-19. Nah, it's other dynamics in the camp, other this and that, other things going on that you're not even aware of, you know?
Yes, sir. Isaiah 55 verse 6. Seek ye Yahweh, Ba'ashem YAHAWASHI, while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near.
And plan what? That's a time that he's not going to be able to be found, you know? And call upon him what? While he is near. Why what? While he is still around, man. You know? Then hey, one brother was like, hey man, what's up with all them breakdowns? You got them breakdowns? Because we used to do studies 2-3 days a week in the garage. So the brother was like, yo man, what's up with one of them breakdowns? And I kind of looked at him like, yo, I'm like, yo, you better punch that shit in on YouTube and put GMS behind that bitch. Whatever you looking for, punch that shit in and bracket GMS. And you better watch. But I dawned on him, I'm like, yo, all of those breakdowns and shit I was giving over the years, you ain't write none of them down? Hey, he was like, nah.
Even what a lot of
he said some of it he wrote down, but he was like, I wrote none of it down. Anytime when I was younger, anytime I used to watch the Apostles like in 08 and all that, I always had a pad. Then I'd come to the camp with a recorder in my shit. Word is born. I would come to the camp and record it, then go home and watch where I was just at. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, this shit is not shit, but this is not entertainment. Like, you gotta, this your salvation, this your life. You can't depend on a man. You might get separated from a man. You know what I mean? You gotta learn this thing for yourself. But dudes took the, hey, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord and put it not off from day to day. It's a lot of dudes that took this thing for granted. They was in the camp, they was functioning, they was lively, hey, I'll get up with y'all next week, y'all gonna be out here, y'all gonna do this and that. Now you can't even find us. You can't even find us. And even if you thought you could find us, brothers done drove 2 hours this way, 3 hours that way, 1 hour this way. We in a cut somewhere behind this building on this park. You can't even find us. So the Lord pulling his men out of there. You got that
Matthew 25?
Yeah, you got something?
Yeah, a quick one for you. This is Amos 8, I'm going to go straight to the point. Verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. God. It says, behold, the days come, Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and they shall not find it.
Like downtown north. We used to be down there heavy. You don't think there's people coming through there like, damn, all this corona thing, I would love to talk to them brothers right now. I would love to have a conversation with them and tell them like, oh, this everything y'all was talking about, just to tell them they was right. But they don't see it. It's like, yo, what happened to the brothers? Where they disappeared to? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, hey, man, do different spots. You're going to be like, yo, they was right here. They not here no more. Last week I saw them over here. They not over there no more. And the guy that walked up right here that was behind us, he was like, yo, y'all was down north. He was like, I remember y'all when y'all used to be down north. How y'all get down way down here? He's like, we drove. You know what I'm saying? Like, he like,
Chariot
we got superpowers. Yeah, he said it, right? He said, hey, I remember y'all was down north. How y'all get way down here? We drove. But hey man, the Lord is moving this thing. Like for you to be able to keep up with the word, hey man, you gotta be on there. If the video gets loaded up, you gotta be, hey, Esau might give you like 3 hours to watch it. Y'all niggas got 3 hours to catch this live stream. Other than that, it's gone. You better call whoever up and get notes because I'm taking it off.
And
That's really the Lord.
A lot of people had a lot of channels had alerts on it, and they not even getting alerts. So like Esau, you messing with the people's alerts and everything like that too.
Yeah, and that's all YAHAWASHI, man. And for the brothers that had that firm grip and let go and backslid and went into the world, now the Lord can still have mercy. But hey, you're gonna have it rough, man. Because what? You don't have the benefit of the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you know a brother, maybe a brother could be brotherly on the disc, but you don't really have the benefit of the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, well, you got shut out on that side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? Because when the Lord closing this thing, now look, you got to fend for yourself. And eventually we will have to too. But look, we probably got more of a time duration than a brother that was just playing with this thing and got shut out on the other side. You know? But you got that Matthew 20?
Yeah, here, one more, and I'll get it after that.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 9. And salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber.
Yeah, hey, the smart and the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of his truth is going to hide itself and withdraw itself into his secret chambers, man. Because the Lord ain't playing the elect getting sealed, and he's bringing judgment. You know?
Verse 10. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. One land also shall ask another, and say, Is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, No. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper.
Yeah, so there you go. They're not going to be able to get a hold of this truth, man. They're going to be like, yo, did the prophets come through here? I saw him in person. Like that dude that was just here, he could go back up his door and have a conversation. Like, yo, guess who I saw? Remember them brothers down there? Oh, you saw them when you saw them at? I saw them in Perth Amboy. Oh, wow, way in Perth Amboy. Did they ever say they coming back up here? I gotta talk to them brothers. Nah, they ain't say. They said they be all over now. So you know? Hey, Mad Brothers was looking for the Elder Gabar, man. You know, when Esau just do the spirit, Esau put the chief channel, the brother on the periscope now, but what all them sheep, that's the scripture though. I will smite the shepherd and the sheep shall scatter. Now that happened with YAHAWASHI in 70 AD when he died and he got scattered throughout the four corners. But that also applies to us as individuals, man. Like 8,000 members, they scattering, look at, and now it's like, look, I hope y'all brothers took notes or was writing down or took a heed to what the chief was saying. Because now it's like, what, it's hard to find, because to relocate another channel, that shit take a minute. Now, I mean, you might be 2-3 days, Esau could clip it again. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, the Lord is taking this truth. But people Jake always taking things for granted and taking things for a joke. When you get it, hey man, they say, look, you got a good woman, hold on to her. You know what I'm saying? And that woman is what? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that this truth. Don't never let her go. You know what I mean? And they say, well, you never know how good you had something or how good something was till it's gone. You know what I mean? Then it dawns on you, but it's too late, man.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and the 5 were foolish. And they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
Right. Now the lamp, and the foolish, the wise took their lamps with the oil, but the foolish, they didn't take their lamps and the oil. And when you think about it, why? Because it's heavy to carry. You know, they didn't want to carry, and it's like a person in the world. They didn't want to carry the full burden because it's more. Look, you already got hell as an Israelite in America. Now you want to stand in the corner and call a white man the devil and curse, say bombs and shit coming. You're putting more hell on yourself. So it's the same thing physically. Like, yo, I know we're going to be doing and shit like that. I just asked one of them for theirs. Like people that go back in the world, they feel like, listen, you know where you at. I got your number. Anytime I feel like calling you or getting up with you, I can just call you and get whatever answer, whatever I want answer. I can just use your oil to refuel me whenever I want. I don't need to carry no oil. It's hot as hell out here. You talking about tugging the damn fucking army bag and shit, canteen bag. Man, I'm rocking fucking Olas and motherfucking Converses and motherfucking fitted hats and shit. You know what I'm saying? Rocking my time. He talking about carry some oil and shit, some extra vessel. It's hot as hell out here. But that's their mentality. You know what I'm saying? See, because it's a parable, so you gotta line it up.
And that's why a lot of prophets, they start off as the burden of Malachi, the burden of Isaiah. Because being a prophet is burdensome. That's why YAHAWASHI said,
fucking with brother.
Yeah, you got to get it from every side, man. You got to get it from Esau's side. You got to deal with Jay. You got to deal with the family. You got to deal with yourself. Yeah, your own demons yourself.
Yeah. So that's why they like, yo, we ain't carrying that, you know? Because they had the choice to carry it, but you're like, why wouldn't they carry it? They ain't that dumb where they don't know they'll need extra oil, but they figure, what? Nah, I don't want to carry that burden, and I could just ask y'all. It was already premeditated. Y'all carrying it, so I could just ask y'all for some of y'all shit when I'm out. You know?
I was gonna say it's also a burden to study. You know, now it might sound like crazy, but it actually is to actually go into it. You might hear something, but to write down the precept, go over it, read it, find the other precepts, and get the correct understanding of it instead of just regurgitating what you heard. It's a burden. People don't want to do it. You know, they're like, yo, the elder said this, but okay, they don't usually give you the whole thing. They'll give you the ballpark, but you gotta go study and get it for yourself. They don't want to go and do that, like the elder was saying. So they don't want to carry it.
You got brothers, a knowledgeable person might come up or bring a topic up. A brother straight be like, hey, yo. Now that's cool, because not everybody know every single thing, and some brothers are skilled in certain areas, but you do got those brothers that like, I ain't studying this and that. I'm going to just depend on him to cut them up every week. Anybody come up, so and such will be there, or he'll be there, or he'll be there. I don't got to really take on the burden of really locking shit down and defending the gospel on a high level like that, because there's other swordsmen around. Well, what if something happened to them swordsmen or some shit like that, or he get knocked out? What you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So you got to prepare, you know?
Just want to add on some real quick. Brothers and elders will bring it out. All right, basically how the Lord is taking his men off the streets. Okay, even I'll give a worldly example. You know, before this whole COVID thing happened, you know, brothers used to work out, used to be in the gym, train people, and so on and so forth. And I had a couple of friends, or quote-unquote friends, in the world that used to train with me. When this COVID thing hit, everybody got quiet, nobody, because the gyms was closed, you didn't hear from nobody. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I decided I'm not even going to train no more because we're at the end of this thing. I'm just going to focus more on studying and stuff. When gyms start to open back up, I decided I'm not going to go back to the gym. I'm just going to work out, do my own calisthenics, so on and so forth. You have people calling me, texting me, oh bro, what's up? You know, how you been? It's been a minute. I'm like 7 months, 8 months, I ain't heard from you. The gym opens, now you want to hit me up and say what's up? I don't need what's up. I don't need you. Exactly. So I didn't reply. And then he hit me up again. I'm like, this nigga never does this shit. How come you hit me up more and more? Like, you hit me up more and more now. You know? And then all of a sudden,
you up when it benefits him.
When it benefits him. You know? So I'm just like, first of all, I'm not even working. The spirit of training people is gone. I don't feel like training people. I don't care how much money you pay me. I just don't feel like training you. So it's like, it's gone. It's nothing I could do. It's the same thing for this truth. When that time comes, the Lord takes us off the streets, we can't even want to, we're not going to want to talk to you. Like, it's gone. And there's a precept for that. This is a book of, it's a book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 26. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. See, so when that time comes, the Lord officially closes this thing, which is already happening with the YouTube. They're already shutting videos down and stuff, taking channels down and so on and so forth. You're gonna have people in our lives who always thought of us as, oh, they're always gonna be there. Like Elder said, well, I could just hit them up anytime I want. Guess what? We're not gonna be picking up them phone calls, man. We see a number, we just be like, what the fuck? And then just hang up. Because we're not in the spirit to teach, we're not in the spirit to tell you things. Right now, like the Elder was saying, we could come from 2 hours away to prophesy because it's not of us, it's the spirit. The spirit
stay 1 hour. We could drive 2 and stay
1 hour.
Because it's a spirit.
It's a spirit, and it's willing. Like you get pushed to do it. You wake up super early in the morning, and people look at you. How you going? Bro, don't worry, I got business to take care of. And you come in quick, pick up brothers here. We go move this and that, and you feel good doing it. It's the spirit that's controlling you. But once that spirit is gone, there be certain days where you just don't feel like doing no videos, you don't feel like studying, it's because the spirit is not on you. The Lord literally calms you down, you just don't feel like doing it. But when the spirit comes, you can't control yourself but to do the work. So when the time comes, the Lord takes the men off the streets, you're not going to be seeing elders and brothers and teaching the streets. You're not going to be seeing no videos because the spirit is gone. You see, the Lord is going to seal everything out. On yourself.
Right. Guys that watch it for entertainment.
Right.
It's entertainment for them. Here it is, brothers is teaching. Yo, we pour our hearts into this thing, man. And even like when you're out here teaching, you're doing your sit downs. I know y'all brothers can attest to this. You have that fire. Your body hurts. And during time, like your body breaks down. I can imagine how the elders feel. So here it is, you watching this entertainment with the prophets out here prophesying are really going through all types of battles, man. Infirmities, all types of your personal lives, all this. And every day the demons mess you, they'll be like, nah, don't do those. Be like, nah, even if you be sick or whatever he's going through, I gotta edify the sheep. I gotta preach his word. It's not about me. And that's the sacrifice. So once you look at entertainment, the Lord won't deal with y'all, man. Brothers is going through shit. You know what I'm saying? Brothers, this is for you to eat, and you're supposed to be grateful that the Most High has men out here to teach you and to comfort you, man. What you're doing is looking at an entertainment, man. Oh, it's entertaining these guys out there. They're gonna sit down. Oh, he's funny. Meanwhile,
That's why the scripture says they misuse the prophets.
they misuse the prophets, man. That's a good. You warn out the prophets, you misuse the prophets, you disrespect the Lord. You're gonna pay for that. You better repent, man.
Hey, I was going to say one more thing about it. It says that you should not be a reprover to them. So I remember back, like, you know, when I first came into the truth, a lot of times we'll be like trying to stop people to get them to talk. You know what I mean? Or to say something to somebody to try to get them engaged. But like now, the spirit is more so on talking to people that already know about the truth. You know what I mean? And that's how the spirit is. So people that walk by, we don't even try to engage with them. Or they try to engage with us, we'll make them win a little bit. We'll be teaching like, just hold your peace. Like the spirit of trying to get somebody to reprove them is not as heavy as it used to be. You know, you gotta really show your effort into wanting to know this, more so than us trying to come and grab you to get this. Because the Lord got it to where people, the elect is being sealed. So it's not that many people that really needs to know about the truth that much. There's not that many people actually have the elect that needs to wake up right now because majority of the elect are awoken. That's why so many end time prophecies are coming to pass.
And that's all by the spirit. That's not for meditating.
God,
you know.
Yeah. Because we be here now, we be like kind of having church amongst ourselves. And you know, the sheep here, back in the day, we'll be out here. Hey, you have a time? You want to talk? Hey,
we out here like, you dudes and perfect boy need to repent.
Yeah, we don't
all y'all out here, the Lord is nah, man, we kicking it with each other. And whoever's on the camera, and that's it.
We don't got the signs up. Like, what do you think about this sign? What do you think about this one and this one? That's how we used to do it back in the day.
You got time for the word? Hey, you got time for the word? You got time for the word?
America go destroyed. It's all these things are happening now. So, like the elder just said, we're in the spirit of actually building up those who are already in this thing. If you come in, this is kind of like last minute. If you come in trying to learn, we're not in the spirit to try to teach people like, well, you know, we'll go over it, but the spirit behind it, where back then we'll bring up precepts, edify you, build you up. Hopefully, you're part of the elect. At least you got the word. Now the Lord has sealed everything. So it's like when people come up trying to learn things, it's like, oh, now I gotta go all the way back to teach you.
Yeah, I used to give brothers like 30 precepts on the topic. Now I might give you 3. Hey, that should do it. Just go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. Type in the law is not done away with. Brackets GMA. Enter. Look, get your pen and pad, watch that. If you don't understand something, get back to me. But you might not be. I might, hey, sometimes I ignore the call. Or I'm like, I'll get back to him. The spirit, I'll be doing something. I'll be like, I'll get back to him. You know? And it's like I said, it's not intentional. It's all the spirit. Hey, another heavy point. We got over like 30-something signs. You know how many come out? One. And it's like I said, this is not premeditated. Like we got 30-something. We got nice ass Leviathan. I might start bringing the chick one though out. But the chariot, we got like 3 different chariots. Leviathan, Caesar Borgia. We got mad signs.
Images of YAHAWASHI.
Our slavery. We got all of that. But only one come out. This bad boy right here. Everything else, brothers. It was one day. Because I got the 12 tribe board, the other signs was there. I'm like, the spirit like, man, fuck them signs. I'm like, all right. I just threw that in the trunk. I left all 30 of them right there, you know? And to check it out, the other camps, predominantly for the most part, you don't see them like that whole setup. Because the Lord is what? He's taking this thing from the earth, man.
If I may say, because, you know, the reason why, there's a couple things why it's like that, because you never know, like, when something, you might just, like, pick up and go. So you don't have to be, like, picking up a bunch of signs or whatnot. And also, too, the Lord got it to where that brothers in the truth know, like, look, man, most people are not going to make it. So it would behoove us to just be trying to, like, quote-unquote, recruit people. It's more so like we're just spitting the word, prophesying, and whoever hear it, hear it. And there's no need to be, like, trying to, hey, you want to hear the word? You want to hear the word? Because most people are not. And I want to bring the scripture real quick. This is the 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 13. It says, and therefore be that now curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved. Because brothers talk about what? It's for the people that know the truth or want to take heed to hear the truth. It's not about who don't want to hear the truth, because they're damned already. You know what I'm saying? And it says how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. Then answer I and said, I have said before and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. So we're here for that little remnant that's going to be saved. So the majority of people not hearing it, those are the majority of people that's probably going to perish. You know what I'm saying? We hope that the elect is you know, hearing it on the internet or walking past, but more so in live action, people walking past, those are the people that don't care about this, man. Because if they did, people would be lined up to hear it. Now, they don't hear that, oh, America's going to be destroyed, because look, they invested heavily in America. So that's like talking about their investment. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, oh, America's going to be destroyed, but here you talk about you trying to make a legacy. I was talking to my cousin the other day, he talking about legacy and what you want to leave for your children here. Like, we talk leave for your children, you talk about 5, 10 years, yo, America could be gone next year. You putting all your eggs in a row on a road that's about to be destroyed. You put all your ducks in a row. Ducks in a row, yeah.
You take one child and ruin your whole legacy. Huh? You pass that legacy to that one fuck up child, he'll ruin that whole legacy. I seen parents pass their home to their children. All they had to do, the home was paid for, nice. All they had to do was keep it paid for the property, $2,500 a year property tax. You couldn't even do that. State took the house. So you doing all that shit to pass down a legacy. All it takes is one bad seed, and he'll blow that 10-year legacy passed down from grandpa all the way down here. Ruin that whole shit, man.
Nobody own you. Don't own nothing in this place anyway, even your children. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, let's say, for instance, you teach your child and they on the up and up. But Esau can make a stipulation. You gotta remember, this place wasn't designed for us to prosper. So if they see Jake prosper, they're gonna like, you know what? Let's raise the property tax where they can't pay it. Even if they're trying. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord said what? They should,
by law.
I mean, they should have no continuing city, but seek one to come. America is not going to be continuing much longer. If you look at how America is structured, the way everything that made America great, like Trump said, is gone. That's why they made that slogan, "Make America Great Again." Because why? It sucks now, and it even sucks for Esau, so-called white people. Because like when Jacob is on his team, that makes Esau and these other nations not on their team. Because they looking at like, oh, these are people that's been under our foot for all these years, but now they got some backbone, they got some stones now. You know what it is? It's because them niggas on the streets preaching out the Bible. That's who ain't nobody else did it. You had the Muslims, you had the Black Panthers, you had all these other whatever groups, but who's really talking the truth and speaking it out of a book that's mad old? That a book that's been around. But like, oh, it's written by man. Well, what book wasn't written by man? You know what I'm saying? But there's a book that was written by man. Inspired by the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's not that men wrote it and that's it. It's like, yo, what put it in their mind to say the things that it said? We talked about the other day, like, yo, the prophet is talking and like I said, thus saith the Lord. That's the Lord speaking through that man. Like when the Lord said, like, who shall bring me to counsel? That's the Lord putting it in that man's mind to say that.
And that's real. It's like, yo, the Lord said, look, this place is gonna be destroyed. Do not see, you shall what you want to love your life, you're gonna lose it, man.
You know what you were saying real quick about the legacy. Jake has the slave mentality. His legacy is an empire, it's a dynasty.
Yeah.
It's an army. Legacy
Whole thing.
is giving servants and handmaids and bodyguards to your children. That's what David did with Solomon.
Yeah.
He inherited the riches, he inherited the kingdom, dynasty, he inherited bodyguards, slaves. The fuck what legacy you talking about?
Yeah, you talk about a company that you gotta pay the devil that brought your ass over here to cargo station. He's getting a piece of every pie. Like, you think when Solomon inherited what he got from David, the other nations got a piece of the pie and told him what to do with it? No, that's his inheritance, that's his shit. This America, you inherited the Rothschilds. That's who got an inheritance, because why they inherited the earth from them. That's what we're gonna get the earth back, because the earth is for us, the actual planet Earth. Not this paying tribute to Esau and taxes and property taxes and, you know, this payment here, you got this payment here, they raising this fee, you got this fee. This place should be called the United States of fees. That's all the fuck it is, man. Getting them much money to pay them. The same people that's putting the money out here. And we gotta give it right back to them.
And they burn it and make new money out of nowhere. You know, but finish that.
Matthew 25, verse 4. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
Yeah, because YAHAWASHI, he went away, you know, to establish a kingdom for us. And our people went to sleep, and that's that Jeremiah 17 and 4. They shall discontinue from their heritage. So it says what? While the bridegroom tarried, YAHAWASHI went away, they all slumbered and slept, because it was a stage that our people would go to sleep. That's why it says in Romans, it says that day should not come except they be fallen away first. Because in order for YAHAWASHI to return, Israel had to fall as a nation. And during that time of the Roman Empire, 70 AD, us going in captivity in America, and all of us going to sleep, that didn't happen yet, you know?
It said, and at midnight there was a cry made.
Now, what is midnight? Midnight is the height of night, and which is night, right? Night or darkness represents wickedness. And meaning in the middle of the wicked empire, or at the height of Esau's empire, is going to be a cry that's made. And what is that cry? It's truth. That's why it says cry aloud and spare not. We are crying because, and when you say cry, when you cry, you got passion behind it. So we are passionately crying out the prophecies. We are passionately crying out the word of the Lord. You know, the elect men throughout the four corners of the earth. Now I'm saying, so that's why I said, that's how we know this devil at the height of his kingdom. And once you at the height of your spot, there's only one place you could go, that's down. And this devil can't go up, no further. Only further he could try to do is bring in his chip and establish his new world order. Then he's going to fall from heaven as lightning. But that's why I say at midnight it was a cry they made, meaning at the height of this devil kingdom. And that's how we know we at the end, because the cry is going out now, and this devil is at the height of his technology and his new world order, his space program, his fucking science, his technology, the demons, his witchcraft. He at the height of all of that. That's why I said at midnight it was a cry made. Read on.
Behold.
Oh, you got something? The brother got something.
I was going to say, based on the midnight thing, if you look at the clock, 12 o'clock being midnight is the highest number before it has to start again from 1.
Right.
So it's like the end before it starts all over again.
And they call this Generation Z. And once you get at the end of the alphabet, it repeats itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to preach that real quick. This is Isaiah 1 and 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know, my people doeth not consider. See, like, shit was going on right now. Like, we out here, you know, signing and crying and prophesying and everything. Our people are not considering. They're not coming here asking questions. Everything that's going on in the world, this whole COVID-19, civil unrest, this whole election shit, this nation being divided, they're not considering, they're not asking questions. Hey man, why are we going through all this? Why is this happening? Like, you know, I feel like this is the end, like something's not right. They know in their heart, but they're not going to consider. You know, they're not going to ask questions. Just take the time out, just for 5 or 10 minutes, just to ask some questions. They'd just rather sit there, be in their car right now and just be looking. Just be looking, walk by, just look, you know?
Real quick, so at the same time, like the other brother just said, you know, this is the most time I've ever heard people in the world talk about praying to God and praying to Jesus and so on and so forth. Now you watch certain videos, truth channels and so on and so forth, they always say, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, now's the time for us to pray to the Most High, you know, pray to God, Jesus Christ, you know, the times are evil, all these different things. I'm like, they still don't have the truth. But in their spirits, they could tell that there's something going on and it's not going to be good for them. So they keep on praying to that whole God, Jesus Christ, Richie from Boston be doing it. You know, this is the time you got to pray to Jesus, all that stuff. And I'm just like, you still don't understand. He be mocking us low key. He be saying, well, I'm not going to sit here and talk about some fat guy in the corner talking about holding a sign and talking about his Israel and all these different things. We're past that. We've passed that. I'm like, bro, we're not even at the tough point yet. You know what I'm saying? The real games hasn't begun yet, bro. So all these people who be going to church and crying and talk all this stuff, it's all gonna stop, man. The real game's about to begin soon, man. All right? And we're not gonna be here to give you answers.
It says, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps.
Now, that's heavy, because when you know about oil lamps, with an oil lamp, if you don't, now trimming it gets into the soot. That's how you say it, right? The soot.
That's a picture of an oil lamp.
Right, this is an oil lamp. Right, but if you know about the oil lamps, right? If the oil lamp or also them kerosene heaters, you gotta get that debris off. If you don't, this is a very important part of this parable. If you don't get that debris out or that soot out, it's gonna make your fire burn hotter. The flames is gonna burn way hotter, and the hotter your flames burn, the faster your oil run out. Meaning, if I had a half can of grease on a half, well, you know, grease is not right. I'm gonna say olive oil, right? I had a half pan of olive oil about to fry some chicken on medium flame, and I had another half pan of olive oil, same amount, on high flame. What's going to run out of oil faster? The one that's on high flame. So what is called, if you don't get that debris off of that oil lamp, that soot, if you don't clean that oil lamp, it's going to cause your fire to burn hotter. And when your fire burns hotter, it burns your oil a lot faster. So, and that's perfect with this parable, because those foolish virgins was playing with that world, and that world carried debris with it, which burnt their spirits out way faster. And that's why they ran out of their oil. They didn't have no more. So that's why I said the wise virgins, they trimmed their lamps. They was what? They was examining themselves. They was tightening up. They was making peace with certain brothers that, you know, closing up certain breaches, like the Lord said would do in the prophecies. You know, they was checking their spirit. You know, they was praying more. They was fasting more. They was doing these things. You know, they was getting rebuked and they was making corrections. They was doing things to get rid of that debris out of their oil lamp, so their fire won't burn as hot and they can last long. Another thing about soot, the glass that's around your oil lamp, if you don't get that soot and that debris that's burning off out of there, it's going to clog the glass up. So as you walking through dark places, the oil lamp is not as effective because it got those different particles of the soot on glass. So now you can't see as clear, and now you're tripping over things. So it's like you got a light, but that light is not as effective. So when it said the wise went to go trim their lamps, it's heavy meaning into that. It's heavy meaning in that.
Read verse 7 again, Matthew 25:7. Then all of those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there not be enough for us and you.
Meaning what? Listen, because when it come down to it, there's going to be so much going on out here, and so much going on with you, your personal life, or just you alone. It's going to be like in the spirit, like every man for himself. If a brother might call you up and like a little distort, you might comfort him a bit, but you're going to be like, hey, brother, all this time we've been fighting, you know what to do. You know what we've been fighting for. Brother, keep the faith, man. You know? Hey, that might all, hey, they can come down and separate us and grab us up. The most you can say to a brother is a couple of powerful words. So how much more is like, yo, let me get some of your oil. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I don't got a bunch of oil to give you. I'm trying to focus on myself. And a lot of times, them type foolish virgins, they energy draining. Because like you said, they call a lot with their problems, but they don't call or pour nothing into you. Everything is about their problem. That's like a one-sided relationship. You know what I'm saying? You're not pouring nothing back. You just like a drain. Yeah, it's this, that, this and that, this and that. And when you hear shit like that all the time, it's like, yo, I don't want to hear that shit, man. You know? Then you'll try to tell them and give them solutions. They don't perform the solutions. They don't take heed to the advice, you know? So that's why I said, look, let me get some of your oil. You ain't getting none of my oil. And you think you can teach me, man, listen, man, go on to YouTube. I can't find it. Keep looking there. Yeah, it's going to be like that, especially with dudes that been around, that had access on this and that. And a lot of, and see, it's merciful because a lot of dudes that just coming in, they just kind of got the internet. That's kind of really all they had, so they used to it. Right. But dudes that kind of been around and trying to resurface, it's kind of like, you know?
And you know, also the spirit, because it's only just the internet, but a lot of brothers that are diligently coming in now, they're picking up things quicker. They're more hotter now. Because I know back in the day, we used to actually do the sit down, the classrooms, the two or three times a week having Bible studies, but we don't really do that now. But the Lord has it to where people that are coming into truth now, they're able to pick it up on their own. The knowledge will increase, you know?
Right.
So that's how the Lord
is. The time is shortening, but the elect is getting it quicker.
Quicker, exactly.
Yeah, damn, that's heavy. Yeah. That's a beautiful point.
It says, not so, least there be not enough for you, us and you.
Meaning like, look, if I keep giving you my energy and the attention, I'm going to endanger myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the flesh. Brothers got problems, brothers battle shit, brothers got their own demons. You know what I'm saying? But if I keep pouring heavy attention into you, because the most important thing outside of YAHAWASHI is yourself. Because you can't teach nobody, you can't help nobody, you can't get nobody else right. That's why I said a man went to go build a tower, and should he not count the cost first? Yeah. Now, I mean, the tower is what? Yourself. Because even if you look on the left-hand side in the tarot card reading, the letter I, the capital I, meaning yourself. Meaning, and if you look at the capital letter I, it's shaped like a tower. And when you look at the tarot cards on the left-hand side, the letter I, if you flip the card, it's a tower. So when it said, the Lord said a man went to go build a tower, which is what? Himself. Because before you could build anybody or teach anybody or do anything for anybody, you gotta take care of yourself first to a certain degree. So selfishness is a right-hand side to selfishness. You got that wicked selfishness where you don't want to give a brother an extra $20 and you got $100 and you just about to go drink and fuck with girls. You know what I'm saying? That's that wicked selfishness. Then you got that selfishness like, listen, I gotta focus on myself. I can't be doing this and that. I gotta get myself right. Because if I lose it, how am I gonna hold anybody else down? You know?
Yeah, that's why YAHAWASHI got tempted those 40 days before he started teaching. When Satan came to YAHAWASHI after he got baptized and he went to the wilderness 40 days, 40 nights by himself and got tempted by Satan. And after he overcame Satan, that's when he was able to go out and teach. Said
he built himself up.
Exactly.
He killed his flesh. That's heavy, brother. He killed his flesh and built himself up, man. Like, I can't help giving a brother a ride if I ain't got my damn driver's license. Right. I ain't got a car. You know what I'm saying? I can't give a brother a spot on money or some shit like that if I'm not working. You know, I can't give a brother a place to stay if I'm in the damn homeless shelter. You know what I'm saying? So when you work on yourself and you're able to better yourself and provide for yourself, but if you got, say you're trying to do for yourself, and you got those leeches just taken as you try to build yourself up, you got to do, hey, the right hand and fin, you cut it off. Look, mom, son, daughter, whoever. Look, y'all got to sit aside. What you think them rap niggas do? They be like, man, I'm going to chase my dreams and my career. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was like, I'm going to chase my dreams and career. Say it again, brother.
Well, I said 50 Cent was banging the Smurf. He was trying to be a businessman. He was doing the streets that was with him. He was like, yo, I had to let this dude go because he kept bringing that negative energy. I'm trying to be a businessman. I had to leave the streets alone.
Right.
So he had to cut him off because he wanted to change it.
Exactly. You gotta get rid of those leeches because they draining your spirit from your increase. Whoever they may be. It could be your own your son going through your baby mother and she using them as a pawn. But it's important to build your strength up in YAHAWASHI, man. YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, yourself, then the brotherhood. But don't get it twisted. You can't put a brother before yourself and sacrifice and do for a brother and take the loss. I'm not saying that. Don't get simple-minded. But yourself is very important under YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. So now you're in a position to help others.
Says,
no, I was just gonna give an example. Like the brother said, Allen Iverson. You know, he had a friend that kept going to jail. And he kept getting Allen Iverson in trouble. So one time he went to jail. Allen Iverson bailed him out. And in the parking lot, he gave him $25,000. He's like, yeah, this is for you, but we can't be friends no more because he kept fucking up Allen Iverson.
Right. Yeah, that's heavy, and that's love, man. That's a real friend. But that he'll take the money, but that should have hurt you.
goes back into the scriptures about the schisms. The body can't have no schisms in it. If it does, you gotta cut it off.
It's like if you're trying to build a house with bricks, and each time you bring your bricks, somebody asking, yo, can I get one of those bricks? Can I get one of those bricks? They don't want to go to where you picking it up from. They're gonna wait till you go pick it up, you bring it here, you build it with it, and then they keep taking it from you. So you using your extra energy because you got to go get some bricks for yourself, and then you got to get some. Exactly.
Like, yo, you got to pour back. See, when I get up with y'all brothers, different brothers, we pour back. We all feed off of each other. I'm pouring out, he pouring out. We drinking from his fountain. We all like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when you got those spirits that's just leeches and drains, and why they like that? Because they haven't invested into the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? They took this thing for going back to those foolish virgins. They took those things for granted, so they don't have nothing to pour back. All they could do is just drain and drain and drain and drain and drain and drain till you're like, man, get the fuck out of here. You know?
Even the elders watch brothers' videos. Even though they the elders, they watch brothers'
He
videos.
said, we
so
learn
they
from
can
y'all brothers too. It's just, I'll tell you quick, we be watching y'all. You know? So, hey, man, that's beautiful, man, because what? That's pouring back, because it's all the spirit of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. But if you have an investment to the Lord to get some of the water, the milk, the honey, and all those precious things to pour back, how could you, you know, if it's not in you, it can't come out you. You know what I mean? If you ain't going to shit chicken if you ain't eat chicken. You know what I'm saying?
Says, but go ye rather to the sellers, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
And that is equivalent to that foolish servant that said the Lord delayeth his coming. Because they got caught trying to make it back home. You know what I'm saying? That's what they fell off and was playing with the world. They was on their way back home and the shit got real.
It's already been prepared.
Yeah, they ain't caught in the world. They got caught trying to come back. You know what I'm saying? That's even heavier. You know what I'm saying? You got caught coming back. I said, you might as well just die having fun. You might as well just die having fun, but you got, yeah, I'm almost home. That's like you swimming the shore. I'm almost away from Jaws. And you feel that sand and that shore.
I got a quick precept. Revelation chapter 19, verse 7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. Going back to what we were saying, because those wise virgins, they were ready for the bridegroom when he came. The foolish ones wasn't ready. So the only ones that's going to be partakers of the marriage are the ones that made themselves ready. You know, and they did the things that were necessary in order to prepare themselves. Like even in the world now, when somebody with a wife is having a marriage day, it takes her about 5, 6, 7 hours just to get ready for that, you know, to walk down that aisle. You know, if the time comes and she's not ready, then guess what? The whole wedding has to get postponed. But the bridegroom, YAHAWASHI, not gonna postpone his wedding. He's not gonna postpone the time that he's coming to get his wife. If you're not prepared, you know, certain carnal level. If you don't got your white gown on, if you don't got your makeup on, if you don't got...
Who is that person serving in here without a garment?
God, exactly. Yeah, if you're not prepared, then you're not going to make it into the wedding. You know what I mean? The wedding doesn't start when the wife starts it, and as this world does it. The wedding starts really when the bridegroom is ready. You know what I mean? She gotta be ready for him. And in this world, everything's backwards. The bridegroom is waiting for the wife to get ready. You know what I mean? He's waiting for the wife for the union. But really, we're supposed to be waiting for YAHAWASHI to come back and make ourselves ready.
And that's why we got to be grateful that we dealt with this truth enough to be able to come in the camp and speak. And even if a brother not well versed or well knowledgeable like that, his faith might just be up just from being around, you know, brothers in the energy, you know. So hey, man, you got to be grateful to you know, to feel like that the Lord bless you with a nice portion of this truth. That if you was taken away or isolated, you got enough scriptures in your head, because all of that is going to come back in your benefit. You know what I mean? All of that studying, all of that praying, all the different memories you remember, that's going to come back in your benefit to help you get through trouble. So really, you investing into yourself to help you passing the ball back to you, so to say. You know, with that, I mean, I ain't got nothing else left, brothers. So with that, hope that was edifying to the left. All praise to Yahawah, Shem Yahawah, Shem Yahawah. With that, shalom. Shalom.
Got it?
X?
Yeah.